news. Technically, it was just a Category 1 storm, but you can't tell that by the damage done. Schools are still closed, and emergency supplies are still needed. Relief workers handing out ice, handing out water, and handing out meals. Long gas lines like these are a common problem throughout the region. Still, just about 1/3 of the gas stations in South Florida are usable and open. Stoplights are still hit and miss around town. And here at the Orange Bowl, the damage is still evident. A little over 1 hour ago, workers trying to repair the scoreboard before today's kickoff. In an effort to return to normalcy, Kyle Wright and the 6th-ranked University of Miami football team look to continue their dominance and win a 6th game in a row. But don't forget what happened just a year ago. Miami was shocked by the Tar Heels of North Carolina. The Tar Heels, they're looking to steal another one from the Hurricanes, and this time they want to do it on the road. The hurricane has come and gone, but there are still strong winds that will be a factor this afternoon. Our venue is the historic Orange Bowl, where there will be football. The Tar Heels of North Carolina have made the trip to take on the 6th-ranked Miami Hurricanes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Miami, Florida. I am Eric Collins. Joining me in a moment will be my partner, Andre Ware, as well as Heather Mitz. Well, this has been a very difficult week in these parts. Earlier this week, Hurricane Wilma blew through town, claiming the lives of 14 Floridians. Also this week, power has been an issue. According to the Florida Power and Light Company, 98% of all of South Florida at one point or another lost electricity. Over 1 million South Floridians still have no electricity. Many of them will not get it back until mid-November. Federal officials, they have come in and assessed the damage, and they anticipate that the damage and cleanup may be as much as $6 billion. Well, the University of Miami, they have done some thinking, and they have decided that in an effort to return to normalcy, they want to play football, in particular Miami Hurricane football, right here at the Orange Bowl. Joining me now is my partner, Andre Ware, and talking about football. Well, these Hurricanes, they're going to be hungry. They missed last week. The game was postponed against Georgia Tech in anticipation of Hurricane Wilma, so they're finally getting back on the field. You can just imagine that defense from Miami is going to be really hungry.
Yeah, it's a hungry defense, eager to get back to playing football here at the University of Miami. You're talking about the nation's #1 ranked defense in total defense as well as pass defense, and they will just flat out get after you on the football field. When you think about Miami, you think about names like Benny Blaze, Dan Morgan, and Warren Sapp on the defensive side of the football. No such names on this unit. They just get it done as a collective group. They're aggressive, they're eager, they just flat shut offenses down this season. On the other side of the field for North Carolina, they rolled up over 550 yards of total offense against this Miami team last year. 270 in the air, 260 on the ground. For North Carolina, Ronnie McGill, they get him back at the running back position. Last week, he responded with a 118-yard performance against a good Virginia football team. In the air, Matt Baker will throw to Jaworski Pollock, who needs just 5 receptions to become North Carolina's all-time leading receiver at that position. North Carolina has the run with McGill. They've got the pass with Pollock. Can they put it together against a sound Miami football team?
We will see. Kickoff, high and deep, returned by Wallace Wright. And Wright across the 30 to the 35, still scrambling, and he gets to the 40-yard line. Brian Monroe, man who kicked it off, is the man who tackled him. So the Tar Heels will take over. Matt Baker will get the call. This is his first year as a starter. He has been up and down, but over the last couple of weeks, more up than down. And it looks as if we're going to have a personal foul early.
The kickoff return was 31 yards.
After the return, dead ball, late hit, 59 on the kicking team, 15 yards, first down.
So an inauspicious start for Larry Coker and the Miami Hurricanes.
You know, for North Carolina, field position's going to be an issue all afternoon long against this aggressive football team on defense, the Miami Hurricanes. They're going to need as good a field position, Eric, as they can possibly get all throughout the afternoon.
They start in the good part of the 50-yard line, and they start with a run. It's Barrington Edwards who picks up a couple of yards. I'm sorry, that's Ronnie McGill with the first carry. There's the starting lineups for North Carolina, the backs and receivers. Ronnie McGill, Ricky Cook, the backfield, Jesse Holley, the basketball player, and Mike Mason, the wideouts. John Hamlet, they use him as the tight end. Up front, Chacos and Gray. That's the power side. Stephen Bell's the center, Kyle Rath, the guard, and Skip Seagraves, the right tackle. Inconsistency has been a problem for North Carolina here in 2005 on the offensive line. A week ago, they were very successful against Virginia. They want to build on that. Gain of 2 by McGill. Defensively, the top-ranked team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes. Pata, he was hurt, but he's healthy, getting the start right now. Atkins, Orion Harris, and Thomas Carroll. Big 4 up front. Linebackers all run very well. McIntosh, Romeo Davis in the middle, and John Beeson. And that secondary, some future stars out there. Kelly Jennings, one corner with Marcus Maxey. Brandon Merriweather, good strong safety, and Kenny Phillips, that man right there, he was all everything in high school a year ago, and he has lived up to the billing. Third down. Baker to the skies, has a man, complete first down, and much more. Jesse Holland with the catch, gets inside the 25.
Yeah, Miami, they go zone defense here and just working inside the zones. Jesse Holley sitting down. You don't carry routes out through the zone. You see him dropping into zone coverage here and right into your screen, right in the middle of the field, sitting in the hole in the zone and right on time with the footballs. Matt Baker, they need that early in the football game just to have the confidence grow to know they can stay on the field against this Miami defense.
That was catch number 22 on the season for Holley, who won a national championship a year ago, playing with Sean May and all the other fellows on the basketball team. Timeout is called by Baker. Didn't like the way that his team was lined up. Maybe didn't like what he saw defensively for Larry Coker's Hurricanes, so he calls timeout.
And a smart timeout as well. You're on the road against a very good football team that's ranked number 6 in the entire country, number 1 defensively. You don't want to make a mistake early in the football game on the road when you have an opportunity to put points on the board first.
Let's take this opportunity to join up with Heather Mitz, who's down on the field, who has a little bit of information on this new look Miami Hurricane team. Heather?
Thanks, guys. Well, hopefully you've noticed the new look. That's because the Miami team has gone retro. In fact, the jerseys are from the 66-67 team, and the decal here on the helmet is a hurricane warning flag. We asked Coach Coker yesterday what he thought of the jerseys. He says he's not a big fan of the change, but he says it's not a big deal as long as his team wins. We'll have to ask his opinion again after the game, guys.
Thank you, Heather. What do you think of those unis?
I kind of like them. I mean, I've always liked the look, and you take a step back into the past and just kind of dress the part. And, they're not bad looking.
One thing about those uniforms,
I've seen worse, that's for sure.
They're circa 1966 and 67, but they're not the same material that they wore way back then.
No, they're very much updated in terms of the material they make them with. But you know, it's a good looking feel. It's a good change for Miami.
So after the timeout, ready for some football again. Fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 for the Tar Heels. Trying to win their 2nd consecutive game. Big win against Virginia a week ago in Chapel Hill. They run with it on 1st down. Left side, it's Edwards, his first carry. Pushed out of bounds, but not before he gets down to the 15-yard line.
You know, North Carolina's really started to run the football well. They like to run behind Brian Chacos and Charleston Gray on that left side, and they go to the short side of the football field there. But you see them just kind of collapse that defensive line down up front. You see the blocking here, the pulling, and then right there, just getting to the edge and with enough speed to turn the corner is Ronnie McGill.
This is where they want to be. 2nd down and short. Whole playbook is available for the Tar Heels, and they run it right side. Pickup of a couple. Looks like they have another first down. That's Edwards with his second carry.
Yeah, Barrington Edwards is just coming in, gives Ronnie McGill a break, and here you see the pull by Charleston Gray. They like to pull him around and kind of secure the corner, and then it's on the running back to read the block. If he turns inside, you're going to break outside. If he turns outside, you break off the inside portion of his inside leg, and there, reading it perfectly, is Barrington Edwards.
John Bunting looking on now in his 5th season as the head man at North Carolina. First down carry, left side. McGill has it. McGill showing some power inside the 5. Pickup of 8 and maybe 9.
Boy, you're talking about second, third, maybe even fourth effort there on the part of Ronnie McGill, and just breaking tackles. They wanted to pound or go directly at this fast Miami football team. You'll see the hole appear right here. He breaks outside. There's one tackle he breaks, a second tackle, and then there, just desire and guts to get it in the end zone. North Carolina, they wanted to run the football, establish the line of scrimmage. So far, early in this game, they've been able to do it against this Miami defense.
2 tight ends in the game. North Carolina, let's see if they try and power it in here. Second down and 1. Still can get a first down without getting the score. Handoff. Struggling. McGill just shy. Picks up 2. That's going to be enough for the first down. Fresh set of downs at the 1-yard line.
Well, one of their keys to victory was run the football and be precise in the passing game. They hadn't had to throw the football but maybe once on third down. But there, you just see the sheer determination on the part of Ronnie McGill. And I think last year's game, with the ability to run the football last week, has carried over. You talk about the success they had a year ago against this Miami football team. North Carolina, they might just have the formula for beating Miami.
3 tight ends now in the game for North Carolina. Howard backfield. Give to the deep man. McGill is going to be denied. Knocked on the door, but no one answered.
You know, one way to offset all that speed that Miami has on defense, you know what? Go right at it. I mean, you try to run away from it, and they run you down from the backside. If you go right at it, guess what? They got to sit in the trenches and fight it out. North Carolina, big enough up front. They've had a lot of success going behind that big guy, Charleston Gray on the left side. Big Skip Seagraves on the right side at offensive tackle. Just take it, move, and establish the line of scrimmage with the run game. Then all of a sudden, Eric, play-action passes come into effect later on in the football game.
Is it still a power situation, or are they going to be a little trickery right here?
I think they run the football. That's where the success has been.
They tried to sneak, and that's some tough sledding right there for Baker.
Yeah, not going to get there. Right here, when you're down near the goal line, is whomever gets the lowest along the offensive line or in the trenches here. Miami, the victory goes there. You see the push, no push there. All of a sudden, it just stops, and all the guys start to show up. Merriweather, then Marcus Maxey, the secondary, all those guys getting in there and helping out those big guys up front. Big down for North Carolina here.
Less than 5 minutes into this game, and a big play already for North Carolina, trying to get some momentum. Man in motion. Baker, hands off, touchdown, McGill.
Well, that's what happens when you pound it inside. You get everybody thinking you're going to line up and go face mask to face mask on the goal line. Then McGill's going to be able to bounce it outside untouched. Everybody slanting down inside for Miami. You'll see the slants in here. Everybody coming down inside hard. They pull. Number 75, Skip Seagraves. He secures the corner, and Ronnie McGill's going to walk it into the end zone.
Nice block also by his fullback, Ricky Cook, to lead the way. Extra point, Connor Barth, no problem. How about that for an opening drive? 10 plays, 60 yards, taking 5 minutes off the clock, capped off with a 2-yard scamper by McGill. It's 7-0, North Carolina on top.
Cool.
7-0, courtesy of that man. Good old number 25, Ronnie McGill. A big part of that 10-play, 60-yard touchdown drive for North Carolina. Got the opening kickoff and marched effectively down the field. And to put 7 points on against Miami, that's saying something. They've only given up 60 points in 6 games coming into today.
North Carolina started running the football effectively last week against Virginia. And before that, last in the ACC running the football, only 91 yards a game.
Darnell Jenkins returns the short kickoff and gets out close to the 30-yard line, and that is where Miami will start on offense. Kyle Wright, his first go-round as the starting quarterback for the Hurricanes. Kid out of Danville, California. 6'4", 220 pounds. He definitely looks the part.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he's making sound decisions in the passing game since the first half of the Florida State game, which was the opening game of the season. A little nerves. It didn't play exceptionally well. Came out in the second half, looked sharp, and has looked sharp ever since.
For a youngster, what they rave about is how patient he is in the pocket. Man in motion. Sonoris Moss. Flip it out. Moss has the football. The other Moss, Tyrone Moss, has it. No gain on first down. It'll bring up a second down and long. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting lineups for Miami. Two Mosses, Tyrone and Sonoris. They're the two big playmakers. Quadron Hill, Ryan Moore, he's a record-setting receiver, and Greg Olson, one of the best tight ends in the entire country. Up front, Eric Winston and Rashad Butler, two of the best tackles in the entire country. McMeans and Teller are the guard. Wolschlager is the center. I think that both Winston and Butler, their two tackles, have a chance to be first-round draft choices in the NFL. To the sky. Wright completes his pass. Caught, pushed out of bounds. That's Greg Olson, the man we were just talking about. He has become Kyle Wright's best friend. Gain of 14 yards for the big fella. Defensively for North Carolina, they rotate 8 different players on that defensive line. Rackley, Page, Bynum, and Davis start up front. Larry Edwards is the playmaker. Mapp and Richardson, the linebackers. In the secondary, 2 cornerbacks, Holt and Person. Taylor and Goddard are the safeties. Holt is the only man who has intercepted a pass this year. Just 2 interceptions for North Carolina in 2005. Strong running, right side, Tyrone Moss. Gain of 12. First down for Miami.
Boy, what a hole to run through by Tyrone Moss. Tony Teller, Rashad Butler along the right side. You'll see him skip out here and then get north and south in a hurry. And watch him put the foot into the ground and change directions. You're talking about a guy 5'9", all of 220, 225, and changing directions like that. He keeps that up, it'll be a tough afternoon for this North Carolina defense.
Moss from Pompano Beach, Florida, Eli High School. Wright wants to throw again. Right side, into coverage, intercepted. North Carolina, just their 3rd pick of the season. Tremaine Goddard has it, and Larry Coker can't be pleased with that throw.
Yeah, you know what? And a bad decision on the part of Kyle Wright. We just talked about his decision-making and throwing to the right receiver. There, bad decision by the quarterback.
Things are going the way of the Tar Heels early here in Miami.
ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by Acura. Experience the performance today at your local Acura dealer. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. And Orbitz.com.
78 degrees, 13-mile-an-hour winds here in Miami. Just 5 days after Hurricane Wilma blew through. Gorgeous day for football today, and right now it's particularly gorgeous for those folks. The Tar Heels, they're enjoying their time here at the Orange Bowl. A touchdown their first drive and an interception their first time on defense. Matt Baker hands it off. Edwards. Not much doing right there. He is brought down close to the line of scrimmage.
Miami there, you're playing right into their strengths when you try to run away from them and you allow that quickness and speed to kind of take over and allow them to make plays and run things down from the backside. Continue to go right at them. I mean, go right at the tooth of the defense, right into the heart. Behind those big guys up front, Charleston Gray, Brian Takos, Kyle Ralph, stay inside with the football.
Man in motion is Justin Phillips, the H-back. Edwards, another carry. Lowers the head, gets to the 9-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Orion Harris with the stop. Let's go back to the studio where Matt Weiner standing by. Matt, what do you have?
Eric, I've got a studio update brought to you by Taco Bell. Michigan State trying to break a 3-game losing streak, clad all in green on their home field. And there's plenty of green ahead for DeMond Williams. On the opening kickoff, he'll house it. Spartans get up early. They lead it 7-0 in East Lansing. Now 7-2.
Thank you, Matt. Early scoring in a couple of games around the country. 7-0 here in the Orange Bowl. The 7 not for the homestanding Hurricanes. Instead, for North Carolina. That's the big story. 3rd down and 6. Blitz is on. Baker escapes once and completes for a first down. Jesse Holley, his 2nd catch. And Holley not going down without a fight. Good gain on 3rd down.
Well, you talk about a guy just competing and a will to win and get it done. Is Matt Baker, the quarterback. It looks like there's a flag down on the far sideline. We'll get that report first. But I'll tell you what, just standing in here fighting, you know you're going to get blitzed. It's 3rd down right there. Make the first guy miss and then get it off. That's willing to take one for your football team right there. But this one's coming back.
John Bunting can't believe it, but that's going to negate a big yardage play on 3rd down.
You know, the good quarterbacks on 3rd down, you're inside, you pushed back, you know, in long yardage situations, expect the blitz. Those guys feel it. They know it's coming. It's the pre-snap read that gives you the advantage as a quarterback to know where you're going with the football, being on the same page with your receivers that allows you to get the football out and get it out fast.
They're going to say that there was a delay of game. Didn't get the playoff in time. No one heard the whistle.
So that fantastic play by Matt Baker coming back.
Didn't even exist. 3rd down and 11. North Carolina needs to get to the 17-yard line. Barrington Edwards lined up next to Baker in the end zone. And they hand it off to Edwards, and he has room to run. Edwards, right side, has the first down, finally brought down at the 25 by Kenny Phillips. But how about that for a big play? Coming out of his own end zone, Edwards scampers for 20.
Tell you what, sometimes the best plays are little screen passes against the blitz that you can pop it, and a draw play, because the first wave of defenders just kind of run. They're going to run by the running back here, Barrington Edwards. You see it, just the hole that's going to be created. One move, and then all of a sudden it's just green pastures, getting north and south, and they're outside and fighting for yardage. Boy, what a fine run and a fine play call by Gary Tranquill, the offensive coordinator for North Carolina.
They stay on the ground. This time McGill bounces left side off tackle and picks up 3 yards on first down.
All right, some more good running by Ronnie McGill. They nickname him the franchise, and you've got to be a pretty good player if your teammates are going to nickname you franchise. He's able to run inside as well as outside. He bounces it, and the thing I like most about him, gets in a crowd, covers the football up, but he's not afraid to take on defensive backs. He doesn't care that you're Miami, the Hurricanes, and you're ranked #1 in the country. Hey, let's match it up. Let's go helmet to helmet and get it on.
That's what you got to do against a team like Miami. They want to intimidate you.
That's right. And will if you allow them to.
2nd down and 6. Play action. Baker avoids pressure. Has a man. Tip incomplete. Almost a miraculous catch made by Holley, but it's incomplete. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner.
Eric, the #1 scoring offense in the Big Ten. Wisconsin figures to have an easy time of it in Champaign this afternoon, and early on it would appear that is the case. Brian Calhoun in for his 15th touchdown of the season. That's John Stocco to Brandon Williams. That's Stocco's 15th touchdown pass of the year. It's 13-0 Badgers on the road early.
Illinois continues to struggle, but that Wisconsin team's pretty darn good.
I'll tell you what, they've gotten it turned around. And the Calhoun kid, transferring from Colorado, he's playing some good football.
3rd down. Baker has single coverage left side and airmails his man. Pass intended for the speedster Mike Mason, but it harmlessly goes out of bounds. It'll force the punt team to come on for North Carolina. So Coker's bunch, they stiffen, and they will get the ball back. Matt
Baker can get himself ready for a ton of blitz. And you know what? They're going to challenge you. Hey, can you get it off before we get to you? And we feel like we've got good enough athletes to cover up your receivers on any 3rd down or 2nd down and long. Look for Miami defensively to bring the blitz against Matt Baker.
Devin Hester, a punt return for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Temple. He is one of the most electric performers returning punts in the entire country. Hester tries the left side. He's got speed to burn. Gets an incredible block. Flag flies. Hester down at the 49. But this one's going to come back. Oh, my. David Woldridge finally brings him down. The punter trips him up at the 49-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Quadrant Hill peeled back and threw one heck of a block for Devin Hester. And it was a block from somewhere else. But the one you're going to see is not the one that drew the flag. I mean, an absolute fantastic block.
Illegal block in the back. Number 29.
Well, he called the block in the back, but it was not on Quadrant Hill, the defensive back.
They call it against Bruce Johnson, and it's going to negate what would have been a 15-yard gain for Devin Hester and the Miami Hurricanes. Helmet on helmet. There's some hitting going on here in South Florida. We'll be back. Miami trails North Carolina 7-0, 5:22 remaining first quarter. On that last punt return, there was some hitting going on.
Yeah, actually, Willie Williams right here. You see that fine block out in front, but then right there, the block in the back by number 23, Quadrant Hill. That's the one that drew the flag, but an excellent peel-back block on the part of Willie Williams. And free safety for DJ Walker for North Carolina. Got up a little woozy.
Penalty was called on Quadrant Hill, who is the fullback for Miami. So he assumes his position in the backfield for the Canes. Second time on offense. All right, fakes the handoff, looks for the tight end and finds him. Olsen, his second catch of the day, pickup of 12 before he's dragged down by Tommy Richardson.
Well, you talk about all the great tight ends that have played here, Shockley, Winslow, Bubble, Franks, all those guys. That guy right there may be the most complete tight end to step on campus here at Miami. He does everything well. Pass catching, you've seen it on 2 occasions already, but he's an excellent blocker, and that kind of flies under the radar. The complete package, and he's only a sophomore, Eric.
They've always had great tight ends down here, even in the early 80s. Guys like Glenn Dennison, Willie Green. Little bit of a shimmy, little bit of a shake, good run. Tyrone Moss picks up 7 yards before he's brought down by a host of Tar Heels. That's his second impressive run so far today.
It felt like the first interception that Kyle Wright has thrown in quite some time. He's thrown 5 on the season, but 3 of those were tips, and 1 was a Hail Mary at the end of a game. But that one, the first one on the first drive for them, may not have needed to throw that one. I mean, you know, you're running the football, you're throwing medium-range passes. If you're going to throw deep, throw it with play action because of the success. He just drops back and underthrows his receiver on the opening drive.
Off-balance line, you saw the big tackle, Eric Winston, in motion. He leads the way, pickup of 1 for Tyrone Moss.
And when we talked to Coach John Bunning, he wanted to have success on third downs. You know, you got to get your football team off the field. If you can win third down situations against Miami, keep them on the sideline. He felt like he would have a chance in this football game to do some pretty special things. So far, so good. Now they've got to hold up here on third down and short.
Third down and 1, and again, Winston is in motion, lining up their All-American tackle all over the field. And they run behind him again. Moss has the first down and more. Moss wrapped up, pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Quentin Person, but not before he has his best run of the day at a gain of 28.
Boy, he hits the hole. He hits it hard. Talk about a guy that dropped 15 pounds coming in, knowing that he was going to be the starter this season. And, I mean, just all Tyrone Moss here. You see it one side, and there's the cutback right there, the cutback lane, and then it's some speed from the big fella. Hard to get him on the ground. 2 guys trying to get him. Finally able to get him out of bounds. But, boy, Miami on the move. Both teams running the football exceptionally well here early in this football game.
Empty backfield for Kyle Wright. 5 receivers in the game. 3 to his left, 2 to his right. Pocket collapses, sneaks out. And the good athlete turns the corner and gets close to first down yards, and a flag flies late.
Yeah, it's going to be a late hit out of bounds on the quarterback, and that's where you kind of underestimate the athletic ability of a guy like Kyle Wright. You think 6'4", 220 pounds, just a classic pocket passer. No, he's an athlete, like you mentioned, Eric. He can pull it down and make plays with his legs. Those fast receivers get deep in a hurry. All of a sudden, there's green pastures in front of Kyle Wright, and he will make you pay.
Dead ball. Late hit out of bounds. 27 on the defense. Half the distance for the goal. First down.
John Bunting not too pleased. Kareem Taylor, his free safety, is called for the personal foul.
Well, you see here, just Kyle Wright right there, just taking things on his own, right out of bounds, and just, oh, that's questionable. They're trying to get a guy out of bounds right on the side. Sometimes I think officials, even being a former quarterback, they protect quarterbacks a little too much these days.
Didn't think you were allowed to admit that.
Well, I admit it.
I thought the quarterback club, you never said that.
No. Yeah, I think that one right there is a little questionable call.
Quarterback club, maybe you're revoking your card, membership. Here comes Tyrone Moss, left side. And he thought he had a little bit of an opening, and it slammed shut fairly quickly. Kareem Taylor, who just was whistled for that penalty, is the first man to push him out of bounds.
Yeah, I tell you what, a good job of run support by the free safety, Kareem Taylor. He's starting about 8-10 yards back, and all of a sudden he's got to come up and take on that big fella, Tyrone Moss, and try to get him on the ground at full speed. You got to be under control when you rally up to the football. Tell you what, Kareem Taylor does a fabulous job just getting Tyrone Moss out of bounds.
Second down. 6 yards to go. Kyle Wright fakes the handoff, has a man wide open. Shooting out of the backfield. Hill gets inside the 5, down to the 2. Well, traditional Big Ten powerhouse Michigan has seen many games this season come down to the final seconds. Tonight they visit Tyrell Sutton, Brett Bazinet, and the high-octane offense for Northwestern, a game in Evanston, Illinois. Northwestern trying to hold on to a share of the Big Ten Conference lead. College football primetime is presented by Polaroid on ESPN tonight at 7 Eastern. This is the first time since 1959 that Northwestern has faced Michigan and been ranked higher than the Wolverines.
And Randy Walker's doing an outstanding job at Northwestern this season.
Fun to watch. No doubt about that. Moss wrapped up. He's down at about the 1 yard line, but that may be enough for a first down.
No doubt that Miami will line up on 4th down if he's indeed short. Maybe measure this one, but if he's indeed short, you go for it here. You got to get back in this football game. You've got him pinned down. Your defense is playing pretty good right now. Take a chance, then go for it here. They may have picked up the first down.
They are going to measure. Larry Coker looks on pensively.
He's here 11 seasons, 5 as a head coach at Miami. He's just kind of done a fabulous job of keeping this program pointed in the right direction.
How about a biscuit and a half short right there? I'll tell you what, you say go for it.
No doubt. No doubt in my mind I'd go for it right here. You got Big Moss in the backfield. And you got a big athletic quarterback right there, Kyle Wright. Hey, don't even take a chance at messing up the quarterback, running back exchange. Just push forward with Kyle Wright, pick up the first down, or he gets himself in the end zone. I think that actually they're going to score if he's able to not fumble the exchange and he gets any kind of push here. It'll be a touchdown before it's a first down.
3 tight ends in the game. They do hand it off, and Moss is hit on the goal line. No signal yet, and he did not get in. How about that for a goal line stand for North Carolina?
Well, I tell you what, he tries to get airborne, and somebody catches him right as he's going in. Right here. That's why I said you just run the quarterback sneak. You're trying to pull people, and you give the opportunity to the defense to get penetration up front. Watch the penetration up front by North Carolina. See him sealing holes in, guys from the backside, and he's trying to get airborne. Fantastic job up front by North Carolina.
Didn't get in the end zone, but he got enough for the first down.
Wow. It was so much room and so close. I really didn't feel like you could pick up the first down without getting the ball across the goal line. But, hey, 4 fresh downs for Miami. That's all on the ref. I mean, how you spot the football. How they can spot it from way out wide like that is always mind-boggling to me. You got to get that guy in the middle. In there, let him get dirty.
10th play of this drive. Olsen hands off. Moss has it, and this time, no problem. Touchdown, Tyrone Moss. Good block by Quadrin Hill. And a 1-yard score for the junior from Pompano Beach.
You're going to see big Tony Teller. They're going to run behind the right side of this offensive line. And just a little counter move there, bringing the tight end back. And surging forwards, Tyrone Moss. He's had some huge holes to run through. You see it here from the top camera view right there. Just a nice little alley to get through.
John Petty, extra point, no problem. And we are all tied up. 1:52 remaining, first quarter. Tyrone Moss and the Hurricanes tied with the Heels. 4:09 remaining first quarter. North Carolina and Miami, the 6th-ranked Miami Hurricanes, locked up in a good one thus far. Tyrone Moss put the cap on a 10-play, 80-yard drive that used up 3 minutes and 30 seconds with a 1-yard score, his 9th touchdown of the year. Miami back in this game.
I tell you, I felt like all week long just kind of visiting with both teams that this one was going to be one heck of a football game, and so far it has not disappointed.
Wallace Wright starts out from the 2-yard line. Has room on the left side. Breaks the tackle. Then another. Out to the 50-yard line. 49-yard return for Wallace Wright. The former walk-on made about 5 different canes missing. Finally brought down by Levon Ponder.
And we talked about field position playing a factor in this football game for North Carolina. The first drive, they got great field position. They went down and scored. But you're going to see just sheer determination on the part of Wallace Wright. Here, you see him hit the hole, breaking tackles, and just the will to get himself down the football field. Not giving up on plays. I'll tell you what, it does a lot for your football team. Coaches jumping and getting excited, and everybody getting involved on that good return.
Quarterback keeper. Baker, a very good athlete, picks up 3 around the left side.
Yeah, Baker kind of settling in, getting a little bit better each and every week at the quarterback position for North Carolina.
Baker doesn't have your stereotypical resume for a quarterback. He was an all-everything lacrosse player growing up in Detroit, Michigan. He was the Midwest Player of the Year his senior year at Detroit Brother Rice High School in lacrosse. Talked to the offensive coordinator, Gary Twinkle. He kind of downplayed it and said, how tough can you be if you play lacrosse with a stick in your hand? Nonetheless, he had opportunities to play collegiately in lacrosse. Flag is down, pass is high, incomplete, intended for Jaworski Polak.
This was coming out from out wide, whether it's either offsides or some movement by the offensive line.
False start.
A little false start action on the left side of the line.
Second down.
And you're talking about Matt Baker. First year as a starter, he played behind Darian Durant, who was fabulous for 3 seasons. You know, he's a guy that's really picks up the blitz well and sees coverage as well, throws the football with some velocity, and you'll see the movement right there. Tight end.
John Hamlin.
Yeah, John Hamlin just moving just a little bit fast. He's more their big blocker at tight end. You see him there getting ready to pass protect. Trying to get in that pass set real quick.
And off left side. McGill has it. McGill has yards down the left sideline. Finally brought down by Rocky McIntosh, but not before he gets close to the 20-yard line. 26 yards on that run for the junior.
Ronnie McGill showed up this afternoon with some attitude. Watch this change of direction and the spin. Right there. Just changing directions, and then all of a sudden it's north and south, and I got a gear of my own. Ronnie McGill is playing with some attitude, and you look at the schedule, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, that North Carolina faced early in the season. They faced some tough opponents.
And they marked the ball on the 26-yard line. And this time, Barrington Edwards has no luck. He's dropped for a loss of yardage on the play. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner.
All right, Eric, and some NFL news today. Teddy Bruschi will return to play for the Patriots tomorrow night against Buffalo, 8.5 months after suffering a mild stroke. Stroke happened just days after Bruschi's first Pro Bowl appearance. In his practice, Bill Belichick says he could even start against the Bills. And, of course, that's our Sunday night game, 8:30 Eastern time on ESPN.
What an emotional lift that's going to be for New England if they get one of their leaders on defense back.
The quarter has wound down. Our first 15 minutes are in the books. North Carolina, they have come out fighting. They look like they're going to be in this game for the entire 60 minutes. We'll be back. 7-7 game. After 15 minutes, the North Carolina Tar Heels, they have landed a couple body blows to Randy Shannon's defense. Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator, leading the troops that are currently the top-ranked defense in the entire country, but he cannot be happy by what he has seen. Little pass right side. Are they going to say it was a backwards pass? They will. Loose football. scramble for it. Miami has it, and they have the football.
Definitely a lateral here, thrown behind the quarterback. I'll tell you what, Ronnie McGill is looking to run or maybe even looking to throw this football, but you're going to see it here in the replay, and you watch where he is on the field when he tries to catch this football. Right there, well behind the quarterback, and that's one you got to have a lot of confidence in a guy and his hands, his ability to catch the football for you. If you're going to run a play like that, the coaching staff will tell him when he comes to the sideline, you've got to make sure you catch the football first when we're going to throw a lateral.
North Carolina may have outthought themselves. What was wrong with just lining it up and taking it right to the Hurricanes?
You know, sometimes coaches, they you know, it's like brain surgery or something. If it's working, you keep running it, you know, until you stop it. When you stop it, I'll adjust. But no need to change directions and try to, you know, out-trick a team like Miami.
Both teams with a turnover.
Now look what's happening.
Quadron Hill has the football. The fullback picks up 13 yards, but it may come back. There is a flag in the Miami backfield.
Quadron Hill's a guy that can play fullback or tailback. He was the team's #3 tailback a season ago.
Penalty goes against Larry Coker and the Canes, and they'll march back 10 yards, bringing up a first down at 20.
Holding on the offense, number 68, 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
And Tyler McMeans, JC transfer last year, who started immediately until an injury got him out of the lineup last year. But that offensive line between the tackles, they got two of the best tackles in college football, but they've struggled a little bit in the middle from the center position and 2 guards, but a little soft in the middle.
Another penalty is going to go against Miami. Greg Olson just started too soon.
Prior to the snap, false start, 82 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Miami thought they were going to play a week ago. They had a game right here at the Orange Bowl against Georgia Tech. That game was postponed because of the threat of Hurricane Wilma coming in. So they have had some time off since they last played a football game 14 days ago.
And, you know, and rust, I don't care how much practice you get and things of that sort, rust settles in because it's just not game speed. So it takes a while when you've been off for 2 consecutive weeks to knock the rust off a little bit.
Flip it out, have Moss. Sonoris Moss gets out to the 20-yard line, pickup of 5. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner.
All right, Eric, it has been a very active first quarter in Minneapolis. Ohio State and Minnesota. Lawrence Maroney touchdown run, got 7 points back, but then they kicked to Ted Ginn Jr., and that proved to be a mistake. 100 yards later, the Buckeyes get that touchdown back. Another field goal now at 17-10 and counting.
No one's going to catch Ted Ginn when he gets loose like that. Pass over the middle is complete. Dart thrown and caught by Sonoris Moss. Pick up at 15. So 2 consecutive right to Moss connections, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and manageable.
Well, they want to get the football to their fastest player at wide receiver. That's Sonoris Moss. But here, just a little square in, and you see the arm strength of Kyle Wright right there. Man-to-man coverage, the separation on the part of Sonoris Moss. Hey, I may even get jumped down out of the booth with that kind of separation. Running wide open to sling one in there for a completion.
You throw the best ball I've ever heard. Tried to play catch the other day, and that ball was whistling still.
Takes me right.
Oh, snap way over the head of Wright. Not what they wanted to do, and it's recovered. Kicked out of the end zone. It's going to be a safety. Eric Winston just got back there and kicked it out of bounds, and so 2 points are going to go to North Carolina.
I tell you what, and not a bad play on the part of Eric Winston, the senior from Midland, Texas, because he didn't feel like he could get to the football and fall on it fast enough. And I tell you, taking a 2-point hit more so than taking a 7-point hit is a smart play on the part of that player right there. You know, the discussion is, get the official word.
Illegal kicking of a loose ball from the field of play. The penalty is half the distance from the spot of the foul. Loss of down, 4th down.
It's no safety.
No safety.
No safety. It's going to be a loss of down. And so it's really an excellent play. Now, you see here just the push in the back right there, scrambling for the football, but kicking it out of bounds right there. just kind of saves him. And I mean, I tell you what, one heck of a play. Didn't feel like he could get himself down to recover it. And you're thinking maybe it's going to be a safety. No, it's going to be the ball down right there and a loss of down. So they've got to pin back and they got to punt out.
I thought the ball had reached the end zone. Once the ball's in the end zone and you kick it out, then it is a safety. But they're going to say that they got it right at about the half-yard line. We're going to take a timeout. 12:49 remaining. Larry Coker and Miami, they trail by 2. North Carolina has 9 because the safety was accepted. Here's the call just a moment ago on the field.
Carolina has declined the penalty. The ruling on the field will be safety. 2 points.
Yeah,
Originally, it was said illegal kicking, and they enforced the penalty. John Bunting, North Carolina's head coach, declined the penalty, thus giving the safety and the 2 points to North Carolina.
And, you know, we thought it was a safety right here. When you see it and you kick it and it goes out of the end zone, that's the safety. And the officials, I guess, automatically just assumed they were going to decline it. But smart play on the part of John Bunting and taking his time and getting that thing right. Now they're going to have excellent field position to start this drive here in the second quarter.
But as we had talked about, if Eric Winston had kicked the ball about a half-yard further when it was in the end zone, there wasn't be a penalty at all. It would have automatically been the safety. So it's all been sorted out. 2 points have been rewarded to North Carolina, and now they will get the football after the free kick from the 20-yard line.
North Carolina really just taking it to this Miami football team early. They have some success on the road early. Tell you what, it's going to make for a fantastic finish this afternoon.
Low kick, skips, and goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So another problem for Miami. That's going to be a penalty, and it's going to give more yards to North Carolina. Larry Coker doesn't have very good muscle memory with this North Carolina team. A year ago in Chapel Hill, North Carolina defeated Miami when Miami was ranked 4th in the country.
Yeah. Undefeated, ranked 4th, went in there, and all of a sudden at the end of that one, goalposts and everything were being
and they didn't do it with blue
down.
smoke and mirrors. They weren't running around with Statue of Liberty plays and Hail Marys.
They went right at this football team, and I tell you what, they've taken a carbon copy of that game plan and implemented it right here this afternoon. Running the football effectively. They rushed for over 270-something odd yards last year against Miami, and in this game already in the first quarter alone, they were at 81. So just going right at this football team to offset the speed that Miami has on defense.
John Bunting has decided that he wants Miami to re-kick.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give them an opportunity to have even better field position. They'll back them up, re-kick it again. Boy, I tell you what, the officials are confusing me here.
We are here at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, 5 days after Hurricane Wilma came through and really ravaged these parts. North Carolina taking on the 6th-ranked Miami Hurricanes in front of, well, a crowd that is here and it is there. Not totally full here at the Orange Bowl by any stretch of the imagination, but you can understand why. There are people in this area with bigger fish to fry. There are people still without electricity. Over 1 million people here in South Florida without electricity and just trying to get their lives back to normal after Monday's hurricane. North Carolina will have the ball to start with on the 50-yard line. And they hand off. Right side, Barrington Edwards, the former Louisiana State Tiger, picks up 1.
And then there you see him going at the edges of the defense outside the tackle box, which, in my opinion, Eric, gives the defense a chance to run you down from behind. They're so fast defensively that they can make a lot of plays from the backside. Continue to run in between the tackles, behind the guard, the center, where you're having the success and opening huge holes for Ronnie McGill and Barrington Edwards.
Baker sends a man in motion. That's Jesse Holley to his right side. He looks for him and has him. Holley, his 3rd catch, And up for a first down. Glenn Cook pushes him out of bounds after a gain of 8. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner.
All right, Eric, it's an off day for Notre Dame this week, but there is news coming out of South Bend. Our own Kirk Herbstreit reports the Irish will sign head coach Charlie Weis today to an extension that will keep him in South Bend through the 2015 season, and speculation an NFL team would lure him back to the pros.
Thank you, Matt. That is obviously big news in South Bend and all across the country, with Notre Dame backers in each and every corner of the United States. With that fantastic start they've had, people were starting to whisper that maybe he wasn't long for South Bend.
I tell you what, and a lot of NFL teams was starting to whisper that they would like him, and programs around as well. But, you know, keep in mind, let's just play devil's advocate here for a minute. Think about the job that Tyrone Willingham did in his first year at Notre Dame. All but forgotten, Tyrone had one heck of a start at Notre Dame.
Won their first 8 games.
Yes, he did. I mean, so, hey, keep that in the back of your minds when you start praising guys.
They flip it out on second down. Good swivel move. Barrington Edwards gets close to the 30-yard line and close to the first down. Baraka Atkins wraps him up and brings him down, but close to first down yard.
And I tell you what, good job of blitz pickup here on the part of Matt Baker, realizing he's going to get blitzed right there. Merriweather off the corner, and just knowing where to go with the football, the safety valve, get it in the playmaker's hands early and allow them to make some plays. Now, you got yourself a third down and short, manageable situation. You can run the football if you like. Put Big McGill in there and give it to him.
Maybe 4-down territory. North Carolina has had trouble with their field goal kicker this year. But that's not an option. Heck of a run by McGill, showing some power right up the gut. He gets down to the 15-yard line, gain of 16 yards.
We talked about the success between the tackles, right behind the guards in the center, and you're going to see it open up right here. McGill, just deep handoff and just the ability to cut it back and watch him, just the speed to turn it on. That young man is playing with a purpose today. Came in to this week with a purpose against Miami, missed the first 4 games of the season with a torn pectoral muscle that required surgery. He's hitting on all cylinders this afternoon.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 15. Right side. Edwards has the football, gets inside the 10. Good first down yardage for North Carolina. ABC's college football doubleheader continues at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Big Ten action. How about Purdue taking on the 11th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions? Game at State College, Pennsylvania. Iowa State, Texas A&M. Maryland at number 10, Florida State. And Wazoo, Washington State taking on the top-ranked USC Trojans. Those of you on the West Coast will see number 22, Fresno State, and Hawaii at 4 Pacific time. Baker, hands off. A little bit of skating. Edwards down to the 6-yard line, gain of 3. Very close to another first down. I think they're going to be just shy.
Running the football effectively, and that's been the MO. You talk to Gary Tranquil. I said, what do you have to do? What are your keys offensively if you're going to defeat this Miami defense? He said, hey, we got to run the football. We've got to be precise in the passing game. When we throw it, we got to know where we're going with the football and get it there in a hurry. We want to use crossing patterns, mesh and bunch packages, and run. We've got to run on the move, catch the football on the move and make plays. They've done that so far in this first half.
Ronnie McGill has the football, and McGill has a touchdown.
Well, the franchise is running. I tell you what, they nicknamed Ronnie McGill the franchise, his teammates, and boy, he has turned it on. You watch this, and it's the second effort right there. You're met in the hole, and all of a sudden get yourself in. Rocky McIntosh meets McGill right in the hole, and the legs keep churning. The shoulder pad level gets down, and the push gets him into the end zone.
Bart's extra point makes it 16-7. McGill and the Tar Heels up by 9. Who would have thought? North Carolina trying to win in back-to-back seasons against Miami. 8:47 remaining, first half, and the Heels feeling anything but blue.
ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And Budweiser Select. Finally, bold taste meets a clean finish. Expect everything.
The North Carolina Tar Heels have to be feeling good about themselves. Second touchdown drive, 8 plays, 50 yards, giving them a 16-7 lead. 8:47 remaining here in the second quarter. Connor Bark will put toe to leather, kick this thing off. Back deep, Devin Hester and Darnell Jenkins. Kick is short. Coming up, making the catch, Jenkins has it. Jenkins out close to the 40-yard line before he is stopped, brought down at the 39. That is where the Hurricanes will start on offense. Miami, 3 drives so far. They have managed 7 points against North Carolina's defense. North Carolina's defense was really challenged. A couple of weeks ago, 2 games ago, North Carolina took on the Louisville Cardinals. Yeah. And all Louisville did was score 69 points, the most points ever given up by a North Carolina defense, and they've been playing football for a while. But then somehow, after a bye week, they were able to turn it around last week against a ranked Virginia Cavalier team.
They had beaten an unbeaten Florida State team and played exceptionally
very true.
well.
Tyrone Moss, good carry on first down. They held Virginia to just 5 points. With more on how they did it, let's go down to Heather Mitz. Heather.
Thanks, Eric. Well, defensive coordinator Marvin Sanders grew up in Chicago. He's a lifetime Bears fan. And after the Louisville loss, he took his team, showed him a tape of the '85 Bears. This is the same team that went 15-1 and went on to win the Super Bowl. But the tape that he showed them was the one loss that season against the Miami Dolphins, and they just ran over him. The point of them showing this tape was a wake-up call for the Bears team, and he's hoping the motivation pays off as well for this UNC team.
Thank you, Heather. Very true. You show that one team can give up big points one game and still come back and win a Super Bowl. Hey, we can do this in Chapel Hill as well.
And Chicago, that defense known as one of the best all-time in NFL history.
Big gain here, 13 yards for Tyrone Moss before he is stopped.
Yeah, big hole behind the right side. Rashad Butler right here. You're going to see it come right at you. And big Tyrone Moss just breaking tackles, trying to establish that line of scrimmage themselves are the Hurricanes. Eric, they are on the move on this drive.
They're angry, you would imagine. This time they fake it to Moss. Right under pressure, makes a terrible decision, and the ball is intercepted, fumbled, but I think the Tar Heels jumped on it, and they're going to have the football on the 45-yard line, and Marvin Sanders, he is happy right now because his team is turning the ball over, something they haven't done much of so far this year.
Yeah, receiving turnovers, being the recipient of those turnovers. This North Carolina defense, I tell you what, Kyle Wright has been making some excellent decisions. You talked to the offensive coordinator, Dan Warner. They were excited about his progress, but here, just two really bad throws early in this football game there. That one you just got, if you're going to throw it away, make sure you throw it out of bounds. He's been suffering from a thumb injury, but that one is just based on a bad decision by the quarterback.
Quentin Person, his first interception of the year. He's in the lineup replacing Jacoby Watkins, who broke his leg a year ago. Cooter Arnold, first carry of the day. Freshman picks up a couple of yards on first down. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 situation.
Yeah, Cooter Arnold is kind of the change of pace back. Freshman, 5'10", 170 pounds. The other guys, big bruising type running backs. They want to go change of pace with him. He adds the element of quickness and speed. So if you're going to challenge Miami on the edges, you do it with Cooter Arnold, a guy that can provide you with a burst of speed. I'll tell you what, I still go back to that old plan. Get behind the guards and inside the tackles and run the football.
Arnold still in the game behind Baker. North Carolina's had fantastic field position all game long, making it pay off. The tight end, Justin Phillips, the catch, and the carry brings him down to the 40-yard line. Brandon Merriweather finally brings him down, but not before another big gain.
Yeah, Justin Phillips, a former walk-on. And now, steps in. He's the H-back type. And you're going to see him just drag across the middle of the field here, escaping underneath. They go zone coverage, release him into the middle of the field. And I tell you what, does a good job of toning his route down, just kind of chopping those feet, working in the open area, providing the quarterback, Matt Baker, with a big target to throw to in the middle of the field. Hard to miss him when he's that big at 6'4", sitting right in front of him.
Forward progress takes him to the 37-yard line. Arnold, his 2nd carry, and once again, that hole closes fast unless you get in there. Brian Peta with the stop.
Yeah, if I'm the quarterback here and I'm Matt Baker, I'm asking, I'm asking Gary Tranquill, give me McGill. Give me the guy that has provided me with the ability to run the football. No need of messing around with other guys on the team. Give me the playmaker. Put the playmakers back in the huddle with me. And from that, we've run the football well. Now we can go play action pass. You don't know. Kudum Arnold, heck of a player, but you're talking about Miami and you're talking about a freshman. Give me the guy that's making the plays in McGill.
Arnold stays in the game on 2nd down at 10. Baker flushed. And he goes down before he was about to get popped. Levon Ponder is coming in with some anger in his mind. Well, Miami, we talk about how dominant they have been defensively this year. Coming into today's game, they had allowed just 6 touchdowns in 6 games. Already they have allowed 2 in the first half. What's North Carolina doing so well?
I tell you what, North Carolina, what they're doing well is they're gelling as a football team, both on offense and defense. They had some question marks about their offensive line, that consistency on offense. Now all of a sudden you add the element of being able to run the football. They were last in the ACC until last week. Really has elevated themselves there. You're going to have a false start in the offensive line. But they really elevated themselves in their ability to run the football last week, protecting it better with Matt Baker. He's thrown 9 interceptions, but 5 of them have been tipped footballs. Just getting it done, flat out getting it done on defense.
78 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That offensive line coming into the season was expected to be solid. They weren't for John Bunting. They struggled early in the year, but they may have figured it out over that bye week after the Louisville game. They played very well on that offensive line in the game a week ago against Virginia, opening up holes for runners to get through, and they're continuing it today.
In the first half against Virginia last week, 108 yards rushing. They had only averaged 91 for the season going into last week's game against Virginia.
They found the magic serum. 3rd and 14. Baker over the middle, has a man, incomplete. Oh, Jaworski Polak had 6, and Baker can't believe that that's not a touchdown.
And that's a guy that, with 4 receptions, can become their all-time, tie the record as their all-time leading receiver. With 5, he becomes the all-time leading receiver at North Carolina. Right there, just releasing him into the middle of the field. And I tell you what, he is gone if he gets his hands on that one. Just kind of short arms it, and I mean, right there, would love to have it back as a quarterback. You're thinking, that's 6. I don't even need to look. I've thrown the perfect pass. Just go get it. And that's my sure-handed guy right there that lays it on the ground.
2nd all-time leading receiver at North Carolina. Wishes he had 162 career receptions, but instead he's stuck on 161, and that means our score is stuck at 16-7. Timeout on the field. 4:16 remaining. The Tar Heels missed an opportunity there. All week long, the Orange Bowl has been used as a FEMA disaster relief site. Ice, water, and meals have all been handed out right here at the Orange Bowl. According to Miami Herald, preliminary estimates between $6 and $10 billion worth of damage done to the South Florida area because of Hurricane Wilma. North Carolina punts it away on 4th down. Bounces at the 1-yard line and goes into the end zone for a touchback, and Jaworski Polak chagrined.
Yeah, he's wishing that he had this one back. He does an excellent job of releasing into the middle of the field. You're going to see him come clear right there in the middle of the field all by himself and just short arms it. I mean, excellent job of running the pass pattern, settling in the zone. And I tell you what, Matt Baker couldn't have thrown a better ball to his wide receiver.
So Powell right in the Hurricanes, they dodge a bullet. Have the football on the 20-yard line. Lost the late handoff. Diggs, now Sags, left side. Thrown out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Kareem Taylor pushes him out of bounds. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner. Matt.
All right, Eric, Ohio State not really built for the shootout mode, but that's what they're in right now at Minnesota. Gophers tie it up. Brian Cupido to Jared Ellerson. Beautifully thrown ball. It is now 17-all in Minnie.
They don't throw the football a whole lot in Minnesota. They got Cupido back and got a couple of big receivers on the outside. They get in the red zone, and they can certainly put it in the end zone.
Minnesota has a lot of players from Buckeye State. I'm sure they would love to get a W over the home school. Tyrone Moss A little too fancy in that backfield, and there's too much speed for him to do that. He is dropped after a loss of a couple of yards. Kentwan Balmer, first man to get there. They are clearing out the upper deck, I am told. There has been gusts of wind whipping through this area.
I actually felt it in here from time to time when your notes and your paperwork go flying around.
The city of Miami, Orange Bowl officials, everyone is down here early this week making sure this venue was still viable and still safe. They determined that it was. But I guess just for safety's sake, why not? There are seats available in the lower bowl. Might as well have everyone sitting together on the lower side. Darnell Jenkins, nice catch on 3rd and long, pickup of 12, and the Hurricanes get the first down.
I'll tell you what, he's made in the same mold as Sonoris Moss. Small, quick, durable receiver, and you're going to see him just come right into your screen. Little crossing route inside. Good job eliminating one and getting back to your second progression. Is Darnell Jenkins, Kyle Wright right on time with the football. They pick up the first down here, move the chains.
Timeout is called. Miami, their second timeout. So with 2:54 remaining here in the first half, they want to talk things over. Well, earlier today, we had an opportunity to talk to the president of the University of Miami, Donna Shalala, and get her thoughts on why they're playing today. Donna, a lot of things have happened here in this neck of the woods over the last 5 days. The Orange Bowl has been used as a relief site. Classes were canceled at the University of Miami. Why did you choose to play this game today?
I think it was important for our community, important for us to tell the nation that we're back, we're up. The university is going to start again on Monday. We only lost power for a couple of days at the university. The students were very enthusiastic about us playing the game, not just the student athletes. And the mayors said, go for it.
Last week's game against Georgia Tech was postponed. Did that postponement affect your decision for this week's game?
I don't think so. We'd like to play every game as scheduled, but particularly this game, I think, for us to show that South Florida is back. We still have some issues of power and cleaning up the streets, but frankly, the community responded beautifully, and we had strong political leadership here that really pulled us through.
Were there many people in the community who thought that maybe this game shouldn't be played? Did you hear any of that sentiment?
None. And that's interesting. And it says something about our community. I didn't get one email that said you shouldn't play this game. Not one telephone call.
Your campus, obviously classes were canceled this entire past week. How is the campus holding up, and when will classes start again?
Classes start on Monday. The campus is held up beautifully. We've had our libraries and our wellness center and other facilities open for the last 3 or 4 days. So it really is a matter of getting our faculty back and the students that dispersed a little bit back, but everybody will be back and ready to go on Monday, and we don't really have to extend the schedule in any way. We had some extra days built in. Campus looks beautiful. We've cleaned it up, and we're ready to go.
Tyrone Moss has the football, and Moss has 30 yards.
Tell you what, he was ready to go as well, as he hit that hole and got it outside, and I tell you what, got north and south in a hurry. You see the ability to bounce runs with power and speed, and that's what Tyrone Moss has there, just breaking tackles, and he runs with a very low center of gravity, which allows him to use those powerful legs to come out of tackles. Well, I tell you what, he is one heck of a running back and came into the season with a purpose after losing 15 pounds, getting himself ready.
And he's now gone over 100 yards. He has 110 yards already. Going for the bundle, intercepted back of the end zone, Tremaine Goddard. Goddard, his second interception of the day. Kyle Wright has thrown 3 picks.
I tell you what, Kyle Wright here, I think he was trying to throw this one out of the back of the end zone, throw it away, or at least throw it to where his receiver gets and can make a play on it or not. The wind got a hold of this ball. We talked about windy conditions here. You see him drop back the 7-step drop, stepping up in the pocket. He wants to go to Olsen, but he's not open. So he's going to sail this one out the back, but the wind gets a hold. I'll tell you what, heck of a play there on the part of Tremaine Goddard, the strong safety, playing back deep. Boy, they are making Kyle Wright pay this afternoon.
Kyle Wright, is he being affected by this wind? It's supposed to only be 13 miles per hour, but it looks and it feels like it's a lot stronger than that.
I'll tell you what, in the direction that Miami's going, it's blowing from left to right, and it just he's trying to throw it over the outside shoulder. Wind brings it back inside and allows for Tremaine Goddard, who, you know, he's got to adjust to the football as well. You can't shortchange him, but a heck of a play defensively. And, you know, if you're going to throw it away, make sure you throw it out of the back of the end zone.
Do you change the type of play calls you have in terms of the passing game when you have wind like this?
I don't think so. I think you take advantage of it when you have it at your back, and you have to adjust there as well, because the ball, if you're throwing deep routes, will sail on you as well. And we'll get another look here at this, and you see the 7-step dropping right there. The wind's blowing it back in, but going up at its highest point is Tremaine Goddard, and coming down with the football. That is one heck of a play by a good defensive back. And he played well last week. And talking to the coaching staff, Marvin Sanders, he's got big playability, and he shows it there. Just ball hawking, coming off one receiver, making a play, turning his back, and still being able to pick the football up.
They are reviewing this play. The ACC, like the majority of the conferences throughout the country, have access to instant replay this year and are using it. And
they're just practicing, because that's an interception.
Okay. All right.
I didn't see him lose the football. I didn't see it come out at any point in time. He was definitely in bounds when he hit the ground. And you look at it here, it's just he goes up at its highest point, makes the play. He's got the football there, comes down, rolls. And what's there to review? They're just practicing for a later time down the road.
North Carolina came into this game with 2 interceptions in their first 6 games.
Yeah.
Here in the first
3 of them.
27 minutes and change, they have 3 picks if this one stands, which we believe it will.
70th in the country against the pass coming into this week. And I tell you what, they'll drop down a few notches after they keep this pace up. I don't see what there is to review.
After review by replay, the play stands as called on the field. Touchback, first down.
Yeah. Don't understand why they were reviewing that one. But, you know, that's what the replay is there for, is just to get it right. And, you know, I'm a big fan against the replay. Just don't take all day doing it.
That was expedient.
Yeah, that's right. It was well timed out.
Larry Coker, he has seen better days thus far. His team, they have been busy shooting themselves in the foot. First down carry. Loss of yards. Barrington Edwards tried to get back to the line of scrimmage. He stopped at the 18. Time now for today's Aflac Trivia question. Today's question: how many Hurricanes since 1988 have postponed a University of Miami football game? Today's game was threatened by Hurricane Wilma, but it was not postponed. But they have had to postpone games because of hurricanes in recent years. Going back to 1988, how many have been postponed? We'll have the Aflac answer later on in the broadcast. Second down and long. And again, not much doing left side. Pickup of 1 for Edwards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
I'll tell you what's happening here, Eric, is that all of a sudden you're pumping some confidence into the veins of this North Carolina football team, and you continue to turn it over. And, you know, you're supposed to be the mighty number 6 ranked team in the country and number 1 defense in the country and all that statistical stuff. Well, all of a sudden they're outplaying you, and you're turning the football over. And, you know, you look at the schedule North Carolina had. We'll get into it a little bit after this play, but they have had a rough schedule. Talking to John Bunning, they had the toughest schedule since he's been there.
Baker just trying to burn up as much clock as possible. They don't want to have to punt that football back to Miami with much time left. So they call timeout as the play clock was winding down. 59 ticks remaining. We're going to have a 3rd down and long for John Bunting's crew when we come back. Let's use this time and go to the studio where Matt Weiner is standing by.
All right, Eric, Jim, Don, and I set to go to work here in less than a minute of game time coming up at the half. Details on Charlie Weiss's contract extension in South Bend. Also ahead, Big Ten will look around, including the Gophers and the Buckeyes, tied up at 17. Lawrence Maroney already over 100. An inspirational comeback in the NFL. But this game a little strange so far.
Yeah, Coach Frank Beamer and his staff up there having a good lunch today watching this Miami Hurricane team.
They're next for the Hurricanes, assuming they get past this one. We'll see at halftime.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Back here. 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining in the first half. North Carolina, they've been in some dogfights earlier this year. Their schedule, ranked by many and some services to be the toughest schedule in the entire country.
Yeah, they started the season with Georgia Tech and Wisconsin, both losses, and then North Carolina State and Utah. They had to go on the road. They won those two. Louisville just basically handed it to them, and then a big win last week. It wasn't pretty, 7-5 over a fantastic Virginia football team. I tell you what, they've gotten better each and every week, and John Bunning has this program in North Carolina pointed in the right direction, and a direction for success down the road.
He feels he has the team this year to handle this type of schedule because there's a ton of seniors on this team. This is his first recruiting class who are now in their senior year, and you need that type of leadership to get into so many tussles with big-name teams throughout the course of a season. Once again, just trying to burn clock, or worst-case scenario, have Miami burn their last timeout, and Miami does. Miami calls timeout. Under a minute remaining, first half. And they will get the football back after a punt. Ronnie McGill has been sensational so far today.
Yeah, this one sets up the first touchdown right here, just running hard north and south, and he's going to get himself into the end zone untouched on that opening drive. Then this one sets up the second touchdown run. You see him running, breaking tackles, second effort right here, just running through defenders, getting himself into the end zone. I would like to see more of Ronnie McGill. I mean, you don't want to work a guy to death, but 10 carries, that's not nearly enough. He needs about double that output here in the first half. Just let him get started. 6.7 yards a carry. That tells me he is getting it done.
Matt Baker and the offensive crew, they have moved to the sideline. 4th down and 7. Punt team will have to come on and give the ball back away to Miami. And how aggressive is Miami going to be?
I think you're very aggressive. You're late. You don't have any momentum in this football game right now. You trail 16-7. With this punt, you're going to have some good field position. You've got 55 seconds. You know, in college football, an eternity. Clock's going to stop when they move the chains. A couple timeouts here. I mean, no timeouts left, but just stopping the clock with the first downs. A lot of time left.
They're rushing that punter. Wooldridge able to get it off. Low spiral. It bounces and it won't be returned. That's a good way of neutralizing Devin Hester, and also a good way of burning off some clock. Game clock all the way down to 44 seconds remaining. That took off 8 seconds on the clock. 46-yard punt, and Miami will take over with the ball on the 31-yard line.
I think the thing right now, Eric, that you have to guard against is the psyche of a guy like Kyle Wright. First year as a starter, he's thrown 3 picks here in the first half. He's had some pressure put on him. You wonder how his mindset is right now. Can he lead you down the field and throw the football effectively, not being tentative in the passing game? So, hey, stay tuned. Let's check it out.
4 receivers in the game. 3 bunch right side. Kyle Wright under pressure. Sneaks out of the pocket. Gets good yards. Picks up the first down. That will stop the clock. Miami, they have made mistakes so far in this first half.
Yeah, a lot of miscues here. You're going to see the first interception, just throwing it up. That's the opening drive for Miami. High snap there and a kick out of the end zone that resulted in a safety and another interception. They've thrown 3 picks in this first half. I'll tell you what, they are shooting themselves in the foot offensively.
Fans aren't too happy. It looked as if Kyle Wright had picked up the first down with that carry, and it would have been enough to stop the clock with the moving of the chains. But instead, Larry Coker's bunch were upset with the fact that they didn't give him the first down. They didn't even measure.
And they thought he was out of bounds as well. When he came down, that shoulder came down out of bounds. They thought that would stop the clock. So there they got to take one and just kind of shoot it into the ground, clock it. And here, 3rd down and short to pick up the first down.
Miami, no timeouts remaining. They need to make something happen here. Right with time. Throws underneath. Pass is caught. His tight end, Greg Olson, has the ball, gets out to the 50. Clock will stop temporarily.
Yeah, they will have to have had a play called or clock it right here on first down to save themselves some time. Able to pull that one off and only ran off 3 seconds. But you have to start to wonder, about the confidence level of Kyle Wright. You know, will he come out in the second half and play tentative, or will he play the type of second half he had against Florida State in the opener, where he was pretty much magnificent from that point on until the start of this football game? He's had some rough times here in the first half of this one.
Coming into today's game, Kyle Wright, 5 interceptions. He's got 3 already in the first 30 minutes. Probably just time for one more play here in the first half. Wright still behind the line of scrimmage, may have jumped over. He did. Flag flies, pass incomplete in back of the end zone.
Yeah, John Bunting will decline this one, go in leading 16-7. Step just across the 50-yard line to let that one go.
This is the formal ruling. Kyle Wright was indeed across the line of scrimmage.
Illegal forward pass. Quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. That's the end of
rough
the
outing
half.
so far for the sophomore All-American, high school All-American, Kyle Wright.
So 30 minutes in the books. It is 16-7. North Carolina trying to pull off 2 consecutive shockers. They won a year ago in Chapel Hill. Can they get it done here in Miami? That would be something. With more on the head coach for North Carolina, John Bunting, let's go down to Heather Mitts, who is standing by.
Coach, you told us before the game that you have to execute. Is this the execution you're looking for?
Well, I want to get better at execution. I want to play with a lot of emotion. I want to play hard. And right now we're playing hard. I know we're playing with a lot of emotion. We're doing some good things. And you know, when you drop a touchdown pass, that's not real good. But I'm just hoping we come back out here totally refocused to start the second half. These kids are playing hard.
Great, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Heather. After 30 minutes, John Bunting, a little bit of swagger in his step as he goes to the locker room. The Miami fans, they're bumming right now. Our halftime score is 16-7. Now let's go to Matt Weiner and Jim Donnan for the Pontiac Performance halftime report. "30 minutes of football remain in this game, and well, North Carolina, they are up 17-6. Big lead for them in the locker room. I'm sorry, 16-7 as they went in the locker room alongside Andre Ware. I'm Eric Collins. And well, Miami right now, they are giving North Carolina the absolute perfect recipe for an upset.
Yeah, when you turn the football over, whether you're the home team, visitor, or whatever, that's the recipe for destruction if you're Miami. And I tell you what, they've done it. The thing on the other side, on the flip side, North Carolina, getting the recipient of those 3 turnovers and then getting points behind it has been huge for this North Carolina football team.
There have been 4 opportunities for Miami to make a play. Instead, on 4 different times, they really shot themselves in the foot. Take a look at the miscues for them in the first half.
Yeah, the interception on the opening drive. They're just floating one out there and then making plays. Tremaine Goddard here, the snap over the quarterback's head. That's going to end up resulting in a safety here, kicking it out of the back of the end zone. Then there, it should have thrown the football away out of bounds. Instead, another interception. This one trying to go deep, and another interception by Tremaine Goddard. Fabulous job, though. You have to give credit where credit's due. North Carolina playing a fabulous football game on defense. Sometimes those interceptions and those turnovers, they're forced.
Kyle Wright has been wrong more than he would like so far in the first 30 minutes. Those 3 interceptions, not going to do you a lot of favors. He has only had 5 picks coming into today and 3s.
I got where you were going with that.
Okay.
Kyle Wright's been wrong, and you know his last name's Wright. More than I get it.
Had a whole halftime to think about that one. Short kickoff again, just trying to kick it away from Devin Hester. Darnell Jenkins returns it. Pretty good field position for the Miami Hurricanes. They will take the ball close to the 40-yard line. Take a look at the numbers through the first half of action, and the rushing yards for North Carolina. That has got to be a surprise. They finally started to run the football well for a second consecutive week.
Well, you know what, Eric, to be honest, it's not a surprise to me because last week against a fabulous Virginia football team, they ran for 108 yards in the first half. Here, topping that one this week against an even better defense from the Miami Hurricanes. They just got a recipe that is working in terms of running the football.
Big gain. Tyrone Moss picks up 12 yards. Thought he should have had more. Finally tripped up at the 50-yard line. Moss over 100 yards in the first half of play. And he did it with a lot of shake. When he gets that hole, he makes quick moves.
I tell you what, and he looks for contact, runs through tackles, and if Miami, if they're going to get themselves back in this football team game, this is what they have to do. Put it on the shoulders of Tyrone Moss. He is the playmaker. He's the guy making the plays for you offensively.
Another carry. This time they give it to the backup, Charlie Jones. His first carry of the day. Picks up a sliver. They're going to call it a gain of 1. Bring up a 2nd down and long.
Well, you talked about it. You hit on it a little earlier. The leadership on this North Carolina football team. Talking to John Bunting this week in his 5th season. He has 20 seniors on this year's team, the most ever since taking over as head coach here. And that's where the leadership comes from. If you can get it, he said that was his first recruiting class. Now all those guys contributing to the program and providing the leadership it takes to win football games on a consistent basis.
All right, trying to get that confidence back. Wants to throw. Throws a laser beam that is caught. Good gain.
I tell you, I watched him in warm-ups, and he was really throwing the ball well. Kind of surprised me that he had the 3 picks in the first half, but I tell you, this one comes out, and it comes out on a rope. Right here, the play action, because you've had the success running the football. Hold the linebackers, and there, zip it in there. He is an accurate passer, completing 57% of his passes coming into this game. There, just settle him in and get him going like they got him going in the second half against Florida State.
Darnell Jenkins now with 2 catches. Back to the ground they go, and Moss tries the left side of the line and picks up 4. A lot of wind here at the Orange Bowl today, and because of that, teams have featured the ground game significantly in the first half, and the 2 bell counts for both sides have had good starts. McGill for North Carolina, averaging a gaudy 6.7 yards per carry. And Tyrone Moss, well over 100 yards with a big chunk of this game remaining.
Yeah, if you're impressed, just look at the numbers for Moss. And I think that's how Miami is going to get themselves back in this game. Put it on the shoulders of Tyrone Moss.
Kyle Wright brought down. It's going to be a sack, loss of a couple. Cedric Holt blitzing off the edge. Makes the stop in the backfield.
We talked to Marvin Sanders. He said, hey, we gotta do some things defensively. We gotta stop the run, this, that, and the other. It made it seem like they were gonna play a lot of zone coverage, but they've been around the football, bringing extra guys to the line of scrimmage, blitzing Kyle Wright, just not allowing him to really get in any type of rhythm in this game.
In your opinion, how many of Kyle Wright's mistakes have been forced by NC?
Well, I think a lot of them. When you start to disguise coverages, you go man one instance and zone the next, you're having him think and forcing him into bad plays where he thinks they're open, and all of a sudden they're not.
On the move, trying to thread a bullet into Darnell Jenkins. Pass a little bit too hot, and Jenkins can't hold on. Incomplete. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, and there they get just enough heat. They bring some pressure to force Kyle Wright out of the pocket. And you see right here, Darnell Jenkins, he's wide open. He's in zone coverage. They bring a zone blitz, and right there, just throw him an accurate football. He's wide open. He's got the 1st down for you. Now, you got to settle for a field goal attempt.
And this one will be a bomb. This will be over 50 yards.
Yeah, his long for the season is 49 yards, so he's in uncharted waters.
And they're going to fake it. A little bit of a pooch. John Petty sneaks it down inside the 10. Now rolls outside the 10, but still not so bad for the place kicker. Ball will be spotted at about the 10.5. Larry Coker's punch will go on defense. Punt to 24 yards. Welcome back, everyone, to the Orange Bowl, where North Carolina is on top of the 6th-ranked Miami Hurricanes, 16-7. Earlier today on College Game Day, Lee Corso bravely predicted that this is what we'd see, that North Carolina would be ahead at the half. He also predicted that Miami would win a close one. So if there really is indeed a genius in our midst, he is halfway there.
I tell you what, he's got he's become the fortune teller. He's got a ball that predicts the future or something, because he's right on target with this one so far. But John Bunting wants to prove him wrong. Definitely.
Dead ball, prior to the snap. Dead ball, false start. 65 offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Penalties have been a bugaboo for North Carolina here in 2005. Early in the season, John Bunting's crew really were making mistakes by the bundle.
Well, you'll see left tackle Brian Chekas moved just a little bit, and that's where the flag was thrown. It's going to get noisy in here. It's just how you adapt. Miami down here is definitely going to come after North Carolina.
Baker Hands it off. Ronnie McGill, his first carry of the second half. He is wrapped up and dropped at the 5-yard line. John Beeson knocks him down. No gain.
All of a sudden, when they get you playing behind the chains, which means first down and 15 or behind anything longer than 10 yards, they can line up and come at you. They take you out of your game plan. When you're having success running the football the way North Carolina has, they are down in 2nd down and 6, 2nd down and 5. Now all of a sudden you face 2nd and 14. You got to come out of that game plan a little bit, maybe throw the football here, and that's when Miami, with that aggression, can pin their ears back and come after you.
Miami coming into today's game, the top-ranked defense in the entire country, allowing just 227 yards per game. In the first half, North Carolina gained over 170. That's an attempted pass on the shovel pass. So it's incomplete.
Threw a few shovel passes down inside. Thing about it is, once they hit the ground, they're an incomplete pass. Everybody's saying, "Oh no, it's a fumble." No, it's definitely a pass. And you look at it, just trying to shovel it in front. As long as it's in front, it's a pass right here. Fake it inside, draw the defensive end, and he really wasn't open. Didn't want his receiver to take a big smashing lick. So throw it down at his feet, come back on 3rd down.
That little shovel pass is the quarterback's best friend. He gets some cheap yards that way in the passing stats.
Yeah.
3rd down and 14. Trouble zone here for North Carolina. At bunted, Miami defense trying to flex a little bit of muscle here to begin the 3rd quarter. Baker with time has his pass tipped, and then he catches the football. Maybe not the best decision in the world. He loses a couple of yards.
You know, unless it's absolutely wide open, you catch it and you try to pick up the 1st down here, just knock it down. You're going to see it. Thought maybe the right tackle, Skip Seagrass, jumped a little bit, but there, just a big paw and knock that thing down. You don't want to take a safety, get tackled in the end zone, maybe fumble it trying to come out of there, and something bad happens. Punt and play defense.
So Miami all kinds of fired up. And this is a dangerous situation for North Carolina. A week ago, they had a snap brought the back of the end zone. This time, no problem. Woolbridge gets it away, but there's a dangerous man with the football. Devin Hester with room. Skips inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. Phenomenal field position for the Hurricanes.
Well, the fastest way to change the game is on special teams.
You can just see the momentum shifting. The Canes have the ball when we come back.
ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by Cadillac and the all-new STS Breakthrough, and Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it.
Miami trying to put a happy face on their fans here at the Orange Bowl. They had their best starting field position of the day. Ball on the 26-yard line. Not for long. Tyrone Moss is going to move that line of scrimmage, and that pile-up about 5 yards. Still going, no whistle. Are you kidding me? Inside the 20-yard, that was some hard driving legs for Tyrone Moss.
I'll tell you what, he is playing with a sense of purpose. I feel like if Miami is going to get themselves back into this football game, it's going to be defense and the running game with Tyrone Moss. And he well over 100 yards in the first half. But here, watch the extra effort right there. Just cut back, then the power, and just the leg drive. You've got about 1, 2, 3, almost every North Carolina player, and he's still not down. No whistle yet, playing to the whistle. You hear it all the time. Tyrone Moss follows it.
Eric Winston, the All-American tackle, moves from left side to right side. He'll be the lead blocker here. He springs Tyrone Moss. Moss with eyes on the end zone. Doesn't quite get there. Dropped down inside the 1-yard line. 25 yards on 2 carries for Moss on this drive.
You know what's impressive about this is the run and carrying people to down before, and the sign of a good back. Can it come back and do it again without going out of the ball game, taking a rest? And right here, Tyrone Moss proves he can. Inside, little move, and then the leg power right there. You can't get him down because he's so strong.
Moss listed at 5'9", 220 pounds. They say he's probably not 5'9", probably a little shorter than that. He's probably not 220, probably a little bit more than that. Talk about a bowling ball, an effective bowling ball. Looking for a strike here. Left side, no problem. Knocks a couple of pins down. Touchdown, Miami. Tyrone Moss, his second of the day.
And just right back in this football game. The defense held, created havoc, got some good field position for the offense, and then just turn it over to Tyrone Moss. Little counter right here. Number 61, Tony Teller, the senior from Houston-Madison High School. Same high school as Vincent Young. I got you on that one, big fella.
Texas trivia, you're going to kill me on that. Extra point would make it a 2-point game. No problem. Petty knocks it through, capping a 3-play, 26-yard drive. Tyrone Moss, his second touchdown today. He's in double digits on the year. He's got 10. Miami within a deuce. The big fella, Tyrone Moss, flexing some muscle. 3 plays, 26 yards. He accounted for all 26. Yeah, good blocking on this play.
You see it, the block down right here, and then the kick out by the big fella, Tony Teller, right there, and just getting into the end zone, running through the tackle of Jeff Longany. Tyrone Moss has the Canes back in this football game.
Tony Teller getting his reward. Big old cup of some liquid. Trying to rejuvenate, revitalize on the sideline. They're going to need some more of Tyrone Moss and his offensive mates. They want to continue this comeback. Miami still down by 2. North Carolina trying to grab some momentum back. Return out to the 32-yard line as Matt Baker brings the troops back onto the field. Let's use this time to go back to the studio and Matt Winer.
Let's check in again on Ohio State, Minnesota. Well more than 600 yards of total offense early in the third quarter. And Lawrence Maroney isn't the only back over 100. Antonio Pittman, 67 of his 100-plus there, and the Buckeyes lead it by 7.
Jim Tressel loves those shootouts, doesn't he?
Get a chance to see him up close and personal next week. See that football team next week.
I think Jim Tressel, if he could play a 3-2 game every week, he would love it.
He would love it. Most coaches would lose hair, sleep, everything.
Oh, no. If he had 15 punts and a win, that would be an ideal game for Jim Tressel in Ohio State. Baker under center, fakes the handoff, little play action, rolls right side. Ooh, almost lost the handle, and simply has to throw it away.
That's a good play on the part of a guy, a quarterback, who hadn't had a lot of snaps, but realizing that not going to force the football, not going to put my team in a bad situation, and just throw it out of bounds and live to fight on second down. You see the crossing routes. They felt like they had to run a lot of crossing routes right there, wide open in the middle of the field. Mike Mason. Merriweather comes late. You're able to square your shoulders up after play action a little bit faster. You can deliver that football. When you wait it out, all of a sudden you have guys that catch up to you.
By the right side. And once again, nothing doing. Stepping out of bounds is Barrington Edwards, but a flag does fly.
Yeah, to make matters worse, I think they're going to flag Skip Seagraves, the right tackle, for holding for North Carolina, so this may back them up a little more. All of a sudden, I think Randy Shannon had a little bit to say at halftime. What do you think?
Defensive coordinator for Miami. He is a vocal guy.
His intensity level was turned way up even yesterday. So I can only imagine after that one's going against Miami. But after a bad first half of football on defense, I bet it went up about, another 2 notches, and he did not like that first half. But you're going to see right here, the face mask right there. Barrington Edwards, he gets just a handful of face masks. Rocky McIntosh. You see, the official saw it. He's going to give him the first down. Randy Shannon, an excellent football coach, and would not surprise me here in the very near future if he doesn't become a head coach for somebody's program.
One of the assistants that worked for Randy Shannon and Larry Coker about a week and a half ago, Greg Mark, was replaced. This is actually the very first game that Miami has played without Greg Mark as the defensive line coach. He was replaced, really no explanation given, but it is somewhat unusual when during the midst of a season, the top-ranked team in the country loses a head coach. Making something out of nothing right there. How about that one for Barrington Edwards? He was trapped behind the line of scrimmage, ends up picking up 3 yards.
Well, I tell you what, they are bringing everybody. Joe Beeson gets tremendous penetration into the backfield against Barrington Edwards. They're trying to run the footballs, establish the run. All of a sudden, Miami's like, we're going to bring some help. We can't get it done with just the front 4 guys because you're wearing us out with that big offensive line. But look at the penetration right there in the backfield, right in the middle of the screen. And then Barrington Edwards just staying with the run. He's going to try to pick up a block here from Matt Baker. The quarterback out there throwing a block. There's high points in the film room for tomorrow.
Make the handoff, play action again. Baker has a man. Pass a little bit too far, looking for Jesse Holley. And Holley can't make the diving grab.
You know, in a football game, you get about 3 opportunities to hit big plays. That's 2 that have gone by the wayside for North Carolina. A drop by Jaworski Polak, and here, clearly wide open, put the ball in the air, float one over the top, just allow the receiver to run under it. You're trying to lead him, you're trying to throw it on the line. That's one, Eric, that requires a little bit of touch. He's already behind the defensive back. Just let him make a play.
Miami Hurricanes, they're going to pin their ears back here. 3rd down and 6. 4 receivers in the game for North Carolina. Baker has time, steps up in the pocket. Running out of time, throws across the field, and that ball was almost intercepted. Greg Dreet had it and then dropped it.
You know, sometimes you believe you have pressure as a quarterback and you really don't, and you have to have that feel in the pocket to sit in there and not move around, because sometimes moving around actually gets you into the trouble when you try to escape outside the pocket. That's what happened to Matt Baker. He was protected inside, slid right. All of a sudden now, pockets collapse, or you've outside the pocket, lost your protection. Throw the football away. Don't try to make a play.
Devin Hester, so dangerous. Waiting back at the 10-yard line to receive this punt from David Wooldridge. High hanging kick. Bounces at the 1 and dances into the end zone. Well, NFL Sunday Night Football comes your way tomorrow evening. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. The Buffalo Bills heading down the road to take on the Patriots of New England. Big news there. Gentleman, left-hand part of your screen, Teddy Bruschi. He's going to be out running around defensively for Bill Belichick's troops. Bruschi had that stroke right after the Pro Bowl a year ago, and miraculously, he is better to the point when he's able to play an NFL football game.
Tell you what, it'll do wonders for New England in terms of getting a leader back. Kelly Holcomb playing some outstanding football at quarterback for the Bills. And they seem to have got themselves pointed in the right direction.
Tyrone Moss, more work for him. And Moss, more yards for him. Picks up 13 yards before he's tripped up by Tremaine Goddard.
You know, at some point when all those big offensive linemen are coming at you, you get a little tentative. And right now, Tyrone Moss just wearing them out. Poor job of tackling by this North Carolina defense. He's running through tackles. One guy showing up to try to bring down a powerful back, and he's not going to let it happen. You got to tackle a guy like that in bunches. A bunch of guys getting to the football.
Again, Moss being used extensively here in the second half. Picks up 5 before he is wrapped up and brought down. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner. Matt.
Wisconsin's got that big game next week with Penn State, likely for the Big Ten lead. You got to take care of Illinois first. Jonathan Casillas blocks the punt there for the Badgers in a 10-point game in the third. Led to a Brian Calhoun touchdown, his 3rd of the day. But Illinois has scored again. It's still a 10-point advantage for the Badgers.
Thank you, Matt. Just saw Brian Calhoun. North Carolina, they have faced Brian Calhoun in Wisconsin this year, and their defensive coordinator, Marvin Sanders, insists that Tyrone Moss is the best back that they have seen. Flip it out of the backfield, complete to the fullback, Quadrin Hill. Pickup of 9. Tremaine Goddard stops him, but not before another first down for the Canes.
Like the play call by Dan Warner. Knew his quarterback was struggling in the first half. Now I'm going to give him some easy shots. We can't run Tyrone Moss every down. So what do? You go some play action, just shoot it out real quick. Some really quick reads that allows Kyle Wright to take advantage of that big-time arm strength. Allow him to get the football out, and confidence-building throws is what Dan Warner is providing for his quarterback.
If that confidence is still bursting. Maybe Kyle Wright throws a perfect strike complete Another first down for the Canes. Darnell Jenkins with the grab, gain of 13.
Just seems like coming out of halftime that this Miami football team's playing with a lot more energy. Here, just a little hitch and go. They're both going to hitch up right here, get the play fake out wide, looking deep first, and then coming down. So in the progression, it's deep, and then you scale down the ladder. You got to the second receiver in his progression, Darnell Jenkins, right on time. Any later, it may have been going the other direction.
Handoff. Charlie Jones spelling Tyrone Moss, picks up 3.
Oh, they are just chopping them down on the edges. Big Buck Ortega, the tight end, just sealing the edge of the formation for Tyrone Moss. And I mean, one heck of a block is thrown out here, just chopping it down. Anytime you get blocks like this, heck, you can go run the football. Look at that block, just eating him up, just right there, securing the edge. And then Charlie Jones, the ball carrier, checking in. Little change of pace there, quicker, more elusive type back in Charlie Jones.
Kyle Wright and Miami currently tied for second place in the ACC Coastal Division with North Carolina. So this game is of huge importance to both teams.
Yeah.
As Charlie Jones knocked down after a gain of 1. Both these teams trail Virginia Tech. Tech a perfect 5-0 in the Coastal Division of the ACC. And Miami and North Carolina tied for second place. So John Bunting's team, they have a chance to put the knockout blow onto Miami and make Miami's next week's game against Virginia Tech almost moot if they could get a win today.
Miami may have been looking down the road a little bit in the first half. I don't see how against a team that beat you on the final play last year, but maybe looking down the road to Virginia Tech a little bit after Virginia Tech played Thursday night. Anxious to get there. Hey, take care of business here first.
Third down at 7. Wright tries the left side. Nowhere to go, takes a lick, and is dropped at the 36-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down and a decision for the Canes.
A heck of a job, a good defensive call on the part of Marvin Sanders. They send the blitz, not allowing Kyle Wright to sit in the pocket. If you allow him some time, he'll make good decisions. He'll put the football where his receivers can catch it. Disrupt that rhythm a little bit that he had early here in the second half by bringing the blitz and forcing the punt. Good job of rallying up. Good job of pass defending by the secondary. Now you're going to get the football back.
Ryan Monroe. Low kick, and it spins sideways. And it's going to be downed at the 13-yard line. Wasn't pretty, but effective. Downed inside the 20-yard line. Let's take a look now at our Dr. Pepper ACC update. The ACC, there's been some heavyweights this year. 4 teams in the ACC ranked in the Associated Press top 25.
I'll tell you what, and it's some good football being played. Florida State is one. They dropped one of the undefeated teams until a couple of weeks ago against Virginia. Then North Carolina goes in. They take care of business against Virginia, who beat, Florida State beats this Miami team. So you throw all those apples and oranges in there. Good football being played in the ACC.
Matt Baker under center. He is just 1 for 5 here in the second half. His only completion was to himself. Misses wide and deep. Intended for Mike Mason. Almost picked off by Kelly Jennings. Let's go to the studio and Matt Weiner.
All right, Eric, Southern Miss leading the Conference USA Eastern Division on the road out of conference at NC State. Dustin Allman, look at the catch from Josh Barnes. Completely airborne when he grabbed it. They reviewed it and counted it. It's 14-7. Southern Miss leads. Wake Forest looking for their second ACC victory at Duke and up by 3 touchdowns.
Second down and 10. Baker 4 straight incompletions. Here comes the blitz, steps up, complete for about 3 yards. That's Mike Mason on the catch. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5, maybe 6.
Well, when you burn the first two downs there, all you want to do is get yourself in a manageable position on 3rd down to convert on 3rd down. Here, 3rd and medium, you still can run anything in the game plan in terms of, if you want to run the football, you want to go to your big back, Ronnie McGill, give yourself a chance, you can do that. Maybe he pops it, he's averaging over 6 yards, I don't see why not. Or Play action pass, anything goes on 3rd and medium.
Baker, no chance. Flag is down on the field. We'll have to sort that one out.
It's in the area of holding. When it happens, you see the laundry come out right in the middle of the formation. 9 times out of 10, it's holding. Oh, you see this Miami defense, all of a sudden, they're playing with a lot of emotion. They're taking a lot of chances. They're attacking the way they did not do in the first half. Shooting gaps, blitzing linebackers. Joe Beeson blitzing. You see it right here. Right there, just shooting the gaps and getting there. The big defensive tackle.
Orion Harris.
Yeah, Orion Harris. Randy Shannon doesn't compliment a lot of players.
He complimented him. Uh-oh. Punt is blocked. Miami has the football. The Canes another touchdown. Quadrin Hill pounces on the football in Miami. Their first lead of the day.
It's like watching a sleeping giant. I mean, they were pretty much asleep the entire first half. And all of a sudden, they got in that locker room right there through the gap and just pick it off of his foot. Not only do I block it, I'm going to recover it as well for a touchdown. Right there, just take it off of his foot. Well executed. Keep your balance, recover the football. Excellent job by the special teams at Quadrin Hill for the Miami Hurricanes.
Quadrin Hill was a high school baseball player. He just turned a double play right there.
I tell you what, he did.
Blocks it and scores the touchdown. That's a stat sheet stuff.
Well done.
So the Canes on top by 4, and they're going to go for 2 here. An extra point will put them up by 5. Now they want to go up by 2. Are you up the board? What's going on here?
Well, you know, you go to 22. I don't see where this does, you know, it doesn't make a difference really. 21, 16, it's, you know, 5-point lead, 6-point lead. It gets you to 2 field goals, you know, is what it does, and you still have the lead.
Well, what it did was it burned a timeout.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that punt block again. It's kind of got John Bunting all hot and bothered.
It's right here, you're so occupied with guys coming off the edge, and right there was the missed block. Right inside. And then Quadrin Hill comes in and makes the block.
Miami has made a living in years past on non-offensive touchdowns. They have actually surpassed Virginia Tech, who once kind of
owned that. Right.
They own that category, but in recent years, the Miami Hurricanes have had just wondrous success with non-offensive touchdowns. They get their first of the game, their second of the year today. And take a look at those numbers right there. 55 returns, either punt returns, kickoff returns, fumbles, or interceptions.
Amazing.
For touchdown.
And I see the rationale going here. Now it'll put you up by 6 points, which is 2 field goals, as opposed to having, you know, North Carolina drive down, kick 2 field goals, and lead.
And no 2 points. Good lick. Quadrin Hill drops the football. Larry Edwards hit him. Cedric Holt also involved, but a flag is down.
It's right in the middle of the formation, so it's usually the sign of holding.
Holding on the offense, number 68. The penalty is declined. The point is no good.
Tyler McMeans whistled for the holding call. So Miami will have to settle for just a 4-point lead. Let's go back to the studio one more time where Matt Weiner standing by. Matt?
All right, let's get you updated yet again from the Ohio State-Minnesota game. Troy Smith, Anthony Gonzalez, quick hitter, 27 yards on the touchdown, but back come the Gophers. Gary Russell scores it from 2 yards out, up and over, 31-24 Buckeyes.
Thank you, Matt. Andre, question for you. Who leads the Big Ten in passing efficiency? Which quarterback?
Probably Cupido. He's a high, you know, he throws a lot of high percentage passes.
I like you, and you won a Heisman Trophy, but you're dead wrong. Troy Smith, the kid out of Glenville, Ohio. Oh, yeah. Cleveland kid.
Cupido throws a lot of play action because they run the football so well. And You would think it would be, he'd rank right up there, but there's the hole right there. You got a handful of jersey, and the officials are going to see that. A good breakup here as well, though, by Cedric Holt. Well, we've got ourselves a ball game.
Sebastian the Ibis, big day for him. This is his 50th birthday, they're calling it. In case you're not familiar with the Ibis, you saw Sebastian, the mascot, longtime mascot here in Miami. The Ibis is the bird that is the last to leave a hurricane and the first to come back to an area after a hurricane. So today, partly because of that reason, Donna Shalala, the University of Miami president, gave him the President's Medal. Also because it's his 50th birthday. Short kickoff drop, then picked up. Brandon Tate really had a hard time getting started there. He is down at the 17-yard line. Well, traditional Big Ten powerhouse, Michigan. They have seen many games this season come down to the final seconds. Tonight, they visit Northwestern. Tyrell Sutton, Brett Bazinet, and the high-octane Northwestern Wildcat offense. Northwestern trying to hold on to a share of the Big Ten Conference lead. College football primetime presented by Polaroid on ESPN tonight at 7 Eastern.
That's going to be a good football game. Northwestern at home against Michigan. And I'll tell you, the job that Randy Walker, Brett Bazinet is playing as well as anybody in college football at quarterback for Northwestern. Exciting football team to watch.
First down at 10. Tar Heels, man, this has been a tale of two halves. The second half, they should have stayed in the locker room. They are having all sorts of problems. They're going backwards here in the second half.
Or go back in and come out again, because I tell you what, just not recognizing the corner blitz. Kelly Phillips is going to come off the edge, sneak down from your, you see him right there sneaking into your screen, and he sneaks himself right into the play. As a quarterback, you got to see that. Check out of that play. You've got a receiver with a safety way over the top, about 12 yards deep. Just raise up and give him the football.
11 plays here in the second half for North Carolina. They have gained 9 yards. So they're averaging less than a yard a play against the top-ranked defense in the entire country. Second and 13. Baker throws it up for grabs, almost intercepted by Brandon Merriweather.
Boy, tips always make you nervous when I see him across the middle of the field, because guess what? Nothing good happens when a ball's tipped in the middle of the field.
Has there been a scheme change against North Carolina? Is Miami doing something different, or are they just doing it better?
Well, they changed. They got more aggressive. I mean, you see the swagger right there. Everybody's involved. All the defensive players, they're feeling it right now. Randy Shannon's allowing them to just pin their ears back and come. Let's get aggressive. Let's play man-to-man. Let's make them beat us in the passing game. You're not going to run the football because we're going to have another player or two around the line of scrimmage.
Baker, Swarm, drops the football. It's loose. And the Canes have it.
Javon Nant, outside pass rush, the senior from Miami Springs High School right here in Miami, Florida, turned the corner on Matt Baker. And, I mean, there was nothing he could do about it. Skip Segrist is trying to hold up, but I tell you, they are playing with a lot of energy, and they didn't have it in the first half, but they certainly have it right now. This is an exciting football team to watch. Right here, just around the edge to the quarterback, and you watch it, just relentless. Little arm under and then to the quarterback. I tell you what, it's like Segrist didn't even get out of his stance.
This Miami defense is not only rabid, they're foaming at the mouth. Get the ball back over to that offense in fantastic field position. Ball at the 5-yard line.
Guess who?
Moss has it. Moss lowering the head, trying to move that pile. Touchdown, Miami. It's not just second effort with Tyrone Moss. No. It's third, fourth, and fifth effort.
When you try to get Tyrone Moss on the ground, you better bring 2, 3, and maybe 4 of your homies along with you, because the first guy doesn't stand a chance and the second one doesn't stand a chance as well. You watch this. This is sheer determination. Gets a good block, cut down block by Quadrant Hill, and then there. It is just second effort. They got him stopped about the 3-yard line, and he just keeps churning his legs and gets in the end zone.
That kick did not happen. There's a flag down on the field. They're going to use the replay system to review this potential touchdown. They're going to go to the booth and see if indeed Tyrone Moss did make it to the end zone for the third time.
So many bodies and players and helmets and cleats flying up over there. I don't know how you're going to see it, but or how they're going to determine that. I don't know, but once the ball was snapped and in play, how can you go back?
I think they're going to say that they blew the whistle before the kick.
How about just the energy, though, that Miami has displayed here in the second half? That man right there, the leader of this football team, Larry Coker, went in and he must have given, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall, but you see right here, Tyrone Moss, and this is what we're talking about. The first guy shows up and he's not going to get him on the ground. I mean, he doesn't stand a chance right there. I'm going to break the first tackle. You see a lot of guys the ability to make you miss. They're just trying to, and that's going to be close. They may overturn that one. But just the effort. You see, I was making a point, you see a lot of guys that are able to make the first guy miss you totally. Tyrone Moss, different style runner. He just runs through the tackle of the first guy.
Once again, we're going to need indisputable video evidence that he did not break the goal line.
Look at that block there by his fullback, Quadrin Hill. And then the breaking of the tackle, shoulder pads are north and south at that point. Oh, what a heck of an effort. Whether they rule this a touchdown or not, that's one heck of an effort.
The side judge is 2 feet away from this play, and he says touchdown.
It's tough. I mean, right there, you think maybe he's in, and then the pylon comes down.
There's the side judge right there.
That angle right there says touchdown. Look at the push. Big Buck Ortega's having himself one heck of a ball game blocking. Yeah, touchdown. That last angle was probably the one that did it. You couldn't really see it from the other two angles, but the last one, good job by our camera guys. And that angle that they were able to pick up, that one clearly showed touchdown.
With that touchdown, the third of the day, Tyrone Moss has passed Clinton Portis on the all-time Miami touchdown list in terms of rushing touchdowns. Moss is now 7th in Miami history with 22 rushing touchdowns. He's having a day and a half against John Bunting's defense.
I think there's been a few players come through the
Pretty good names.
I'm talking about just at running back. Let's just go at running back. Edgerrin James.
Heard of him.
Portis.
Heard of him.
Now Moss.
Edgerrin James.
McGahee.
Willis McGahee.
I mean, you just...
But you haven't told me who's the all-time touchdown leader at the history in University of Miami.
Stephen McGuire.
You knew that. You're cooking with gas today. Stephen McGuire played between 1989 and 1992. 35 touchdowns.
And you can go back. Lonzo Highsmith. I mean, he probably got it all started because he was the first guy way back when Shelton Schellenberger
you're
was
forgetting
here.
a big fella.
Oh, that's
Otis
right.
Anderson. Chuck Foreman played down here too.
I tell you, this guy right here is right in line with every one of them that's played here. Tyrone Moss, boy, runs with tremendous power and strength. And now all of a sudden you get those emotions flowing and guys are jumping on the sideline and they're into this football game now. That makes for a fantastic finish. North Carolina seem to be playing on their heels right about now, Eric.
A rolling stone gathers no moss. Tyrone Moss believes in it. He keeps those legs rolling. And no one gathers him up until he's in the end zone. 3 touchdowns for him. And Miami, they are now up by 11 points. Wind down in the third quarter.
Dr. Corso starting to make me a believer.
Brandon Tate, left side. Tate brought down up close to that helmet at the 30-yard line. Let's go back to the studio where Matt Weiner is standing by. Matt, what's going on?
Eric Brian Calhoun is running his way into the Wisconsin history books. This is his 4th touchdown of the day. That puts Calhoun 3rd on Wisconsin's single-season rushing touchdown list. He has 18 on the season, just 3 behind Ron Dayne's 1996 season, and the Badgers leading in Champaign.
Heck of a football player.
Heck of a season. We were talking about the 22 lifetime touchdowns for Tyrone Moss, who's a junior. Calhoun's got 18 in
one season.
In a handful of games. All right, the Tar Heels, they need to figure something out. 16 minutes remaining in this game. There's still time for the Heels They're not moving too quickly. Leon Williams makes the stop. No gain on the play. Let's go down to Heather, who has a report. Heather, what's going on?
Hey guys, well, if I were the defensive coordinator for the #1 defense in the country, I would want everybody to know. That's not the case for Randy Shannon. He doesn't want to know about it, and he doesn't want his players to know about it. Another rule that he has, he doesn't want them reading media clippings. The reason being, if they read that they're good, they might become lackadaisical. If they read that they're bad, they might start to believe it. But you guys, I have to think that Randy Shannon goes inside, closes the door, and secretly reads about his team. What do you guys think?
I think he knows. He definitely knows where they're ranked. And says, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want them reading it. We had a good chance to sit down and talk to him about it. But I tell you what, he was intense, and he was about ready to play yesterday, wasn't he? Ready to line up and start calling defenses yesterday.
Prior to the snap, false start, 86 on the offense, 5 yards, second down.
Has Randy Shannon's defense gotten in the head of North Carolina at this point?
Yes, and you know what? He just allowed his playmakers to come and play football here in the second half. When they came out of the locker room, hey guys, go play. I mean, you know, don't sit back on your heels. Get aggressive. I'm going to bring some heat. I'm going to help you in the run game. I'm going to get more guys around the line of scrimmage. That's body swagger right there. That tells me they are playing with a lot of confidence on defense and having fun in the process.
Second down and 15. To the skies. Baker. Time running out on him. That's not going to work too often.
I'll tell you what has happened. In this second half, what they've done is gotten in the head of Matt Baker. He's not reading coverages anymore. He's looking for pass rush. He drops 5 steps, and all of a sudden he's looking into the interior of the line. Miami playing excellent football.
Well, here in quarter number 3, it was all Miami. Larry Coker has the troops playing fantastic football as we head to the fourth quarter. Third quarter belonged to the Hurricanes of Miami. 20 unanswered points against North Carolina to give them a 27-16 advantage as we move into the final quarter of play. Second down and 15 for the Tar Heels. They have looked bewildered in the second half. Baker, just swarmed and brought down at the 14-yard line. Javon Nanton credited with the sack. That's the 4th sack of the game for the Canes.
And you're talking about a lot of guys that aren't starters that are contributing all of a sudden. Javon Nanton made a play earlier. Kareem Brown's making plays and getting tremendous pressure. They're not afraid to put anybody on the field. You see big number 98 in there, Baraka Atkins as well. They will play anyone, and it is by week that you get a start here at the University of Miami. You're not etched in stone for the entire year. A lot of competition that takes place here.
They have no problem playing guys deep on their bench. Man injured down on the field. Looks to be a cramp. We hope so, as the ball is down at the 41-yard line. Kick into the wind, didn't net many yards, and Kyle Wright and Miami's going to have fantastic field position. Let's go to the studio now with Matt Weiner.
Eric, North Carolina State on the comeback at home against Southern Miss. This is Andre Brown. Andre broke a tackle and then broke away. 61 yards. He's up over 200 on the afternoon. The Pack have pulled back to within 3 points, 17-14 early fourth. Wake Forest cruising at Duke 37-6. Chris Barkley over 200 yards rushing.
Andre a little faster than this, Andre.
All right, Andre, I wasn't a math major when I was in school, but I remember there was something called the transitive property. Technically, North Carolina, they defeated Virginia a week ago. Week prior, Virginia defeated Florida State. Florida State defeated Miami earlier in the year. If you're a believer in the transitive property, that means that North Carolina is a better team than Miami.
Well, it means you mix apples, oranges, and bananas, you got a fruit salad. That's all it means. That's all it means when it comes to football.
Little pitch out to Devin Hester, trying to get him started, picks up 5 yards. Normally he's a defender, but sometimes they get him used on offense. Let's take a look at the ACC standings. Florida State on top in the Atlantic. bunched up right behind Virginia Tech in the Coastal. That's why this game is so important for the Hurricanes.
Important to both teams because North Carolina looms down the road for Virginia Tech as well. Miami, they've got them next week, so important for North Carolina to get a victory here as well as Miami. That's why this football game is so big.
Devin Hester being used even more. Hester picks up a couple being used out of the backfield. Beginning of the season, Devin Hester, there was a lot of talk about how electric he possibly can be for Larry Coker's team. He hasn't been that electric because he hasn't been able to earn a starting job anywhere on the field.
No, I mean, the only in the return game is his consistency in terms of getting himself on the field. Doesn't start a defensive back, hadn't really found a role for him on offense. But I'll tell you what, that young man can change a game quickly. I'd find a way to get him on there.
They're down and short, and they use the big power back. Moss picks up 5. His fantastic day continues. Malon Carey brings him down, but not before. Another first down for Miami.
We talked to Dan Werner yesterday, and he talked about Tyrone Moss and how he came in. Has really played better than the coaches expected. He came into camp in great shape. He lost 15 pounds and came in ready to play. And I tell you what, they're benefiting from him coming in fantastic shape. He as well, because he's having one heck of an afternoon today.
Hester back in the game. Tries to use that speed to get to the outside, spins and gets to the 22-yard line. Pickup of 7.
Devin Hester, one heck of a weapon when you want to change it up. He can play wide receiver, he can play running back, he can return punts and kicks as he does defensive back. They talk about being a triple threat. He's a quadruple threat.
Used him on offense sporadically a season ago. Scored his only touchdown on offense against North Carolina in that game that North Carolina won up in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they're going to leave him back there and feed him some more. Good change of pace for Miami.
Pitch out Hester. And they try the end around. Right side, Darnell Jenkins pushed out of bounds. Gain of 2. It'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Just amazes me from year to year the ability to keep the speed here at Miami. I mean, every year you talk about just how fast they are. Right here, the end around, and then the reverse right there. Just give it off to Darnell Jenkins, and he picks up a couple of blocks right there. If he's able to get around the corner, even Kyle Wright's out front throwing blocks. Quarterback.
Trying to win your quarterback card back again. You're trying to say positive things about the toughness of the quarterback now.
Hey, every once in a while you're called upon to throw a block. There, he was able to chop one down on the edge.
Moss back in the game. 3rd down, no problem. Moves the sticks. Pickup of 3. He's now got 185 yards in the game.
Plenty of time to get himself over 2 Bills. I tell you, he keeps running north and south. No doubt in my mind he'll reach 2 Bills here in a hurry.
5 yards, first down.
You impressed with the way Miami came out of the locker room here in the second half?
I was impressed.
Looked like 2 totally different football teams.
As well as Miami is playing here in the second half, that's as well as North Carolina played in the first half. They didn't make too many mistakes in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, but it just seems like here in the second half, they just inflict their will on this North Carolina football team. Just want, whatever we want to do, we're going to do it. And now you have to stop us, whereas they're cautious in the first half.
Moss again breaks free. His 4th touchdown of the afternoon.
This is pretty much Tyrone Moss, his coming out party to the entire country right here. I'm going to show you what I am capable of doing. And right there, just with playing time, I've got the jiggle I need to have. I can change directions, and I run with power.
First game in Tyrone Moss's career, and he has scored 4 touchdowns. His Canes up by 18. This was yesterday here at the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl has been used as a FEMA disaster relief site. Ice, water, meals handed out to people here in South Florida who have been affected by Hurricane Wilma. This was seen just outside. Shingles blowing away. There's also light stanchions that have been knocked out here at the Orange Bowl. And with that, we answer today's Athletic Trivia question. We asked how many Hurricanes have postponed Miami games since 1998. And the answer is 4. Hurricane Georges, Irene, Francis, and Wilma. When those games were all replayed, they were wins. Except for Wilma right now, we don't know. That game's postponed until November 17th. 19th?
19th. Yep.
2 Saturdays from now. I guess that'd be 3 Saturdays from now. So the Canes, after Hurricanes, come out with fire in their eyes, and that fire stays in their eyes. Good stop on the kickoff. Willie Williams brings down the ball carrier, and so once again, poor field position for North Carolina. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner.
All right, Eric, NFL news this afternoon. The New England Patriots have activated linebacker Teddy Bruschi 8.5 months after suffering a mild stroke just days after the Pro Bowl. That means he will be in uniform and will play tomorrow night against the Buffalo Bills. Bruschi had said over the summer he intended to sit out the entire season. An inspiration for the Pats against the Bills on Sunday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Thank you, Matt. North Carolina pitches it out. Jaworski Pola, his first catch of the day. Doesn't net too many yards. Randy Phillips meets him and greets him by throwing him out of bounds rudely.
Yeah, right now, I think North Carolina's playing right into the hands of this Miami defense, trying to play out on the edges, trying to outflank a very fast football team. Guess what? You're not going to outrun them. Number 50, outside linebacker running down a wide receiver, Rocky McIntosh.
2nd down and 9. Baker with a pitch and catch. Jesse Holland, who was so effective in the first half, gain of 4. Andre, we talked a little bit about it in the first half. Dealing with Miami's defense, normally you think of a Ray Lewis, Benny Blaze, Dan Morgan, DJ Williams. They've had fantastic guys who have went on and played in the NFL. This year, there's no guarantee that any of these guys are going to be stars in the NFL, let alone play in the NFL.
I'll tell you what, the lineup changes pretty much from week to week. I mean, Greg Threet started the season as the free safety. He's been surpassed by Kenny Phillips, and all he did was lead U of M in tackles last year. Greg Threet was the first player to do so other than a linebacker. In 20 years, he finds himself playing in a backup role.
Catch is made. Tackle is made. Jesse Holly with the football. He's going to be a little bit short of 1st down yards. Rocky McIntosh throws him down. It's going to bring up 4th down and short.
Well, I tell you what, they have been right on the money. Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator, has called a terrific second half of football defensively for this Miami Hurricane defense. I mean, they have been right on point. It's like they're listening to the play calls of the North Carolina sideline and then just executing on defense.
Another 3 and out for the Tar Heels. They'll punt it away. No, they will not. They fake the punt. They keep it, and they're going to have a 1st down. It looks, by the preliminary spot, Justin Phillips snuck with the football and looks as if he has got 1st down yards. And they do indeed get the 1st down. So John Bunting's offense will stay on the field.
Right here you're going to see the direct snap to Justin Phillips. And right there, all you're trying to do is get north and south and a little bit of push. They convert the 1st down, keep the drive going. Time working against North Carolina right now, though.
Clock continues to move. Baker with pressure behind him. Loses the football. It's loose. They're calling it a fumble, and it's out of bounds. It'll stay with North Carolina. Kelly Jennings came in hell-bent for leather behind Matt Baker. Forced the fumble, but it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with North Carolina. Back to the studio we go, and Matt Weiner.
All right, Eric. Another update from Nebraska and Oklahoma. Huskers were down by 21 in this game. Back they come in Lincoln. Zach Taylor to Nate Swift, and the lead is cut to 7. Still plenty of time to go in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Texas Tech leads by just 6 at Baylor. Baylor just failed on 4th down deep in Tech territory.
Thank you, Matt. Here in the Orange Bowl, it's now 2nd down at 16. Matt Baker beleaguered here in the second half. He's been haunted by Hurricane defenders. Goes the slant. Holly makes the catch. Gets it out to the 30-yard line.
Watch the speed of Kelly Jennings. Uh-oh, we got Matt Baker who's down. We'll watch here the replay on Kelly Jennings, just the closing speed on a corner blitz. I mean, you're talking about not giving a quarterback a chance to even raise his arm up. And right here, Matt Baker, you're going to see him take the big shot here after delivering the football. Number 90, Thomas Carroll, and he's still down.
It's almost as if you're throwing a piece of meat into a lion's den. That's what Matt Baker's got to be feeling like right now. They are just teeing off on it.
Yeah, and they're hungry. I mean, let's take a look at this lick. Thomas Carroll is the guy to arrive from Lakewood, New Jersey. You see it right there. Just one over the top, one at the bottom, and it's Carroll at the bottom. Oh, he is in some tremendous pain. See it here, just to roll back inside, and oh boy, that's ugly.
So concern on the sideline for North Carolina as their quarterback, Matt Baker, slowly is being helped to his feet. Joey Bozich is the backup quarterback. He will come in if need be. ABC's college football doubleheader continues at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. With Big Ten football, Purdue versus the 11th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, or Big 12 football, Iowa State and Texas A&M. Also on tap, Maryland versus the 10th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. Washington State is taking on the top-ranked USC Trojans. For those of you on the West Coast, you will see the 22nd-ranked Fresno State Bulldogs and Hawaii. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And how about those stars? Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. Which one's got your Heisman vote?
Well, one's already a fraternity brother.
He knows the handshake.
The other one's about to be a fraternity brother. The guy on the left there. I mean, just tremendous talent. You talk about a guy that can change directions in a hurry. Reggie Bush is straight out impressive and fun to watch.
3rd down and 6. Joey Bozich, just a freshman from the Chicagoland area, from Hinsdale South High School. South side of Chicago, South suburban Chicago. Bozich sets up the screen, flips it out to Barrington Edwards, and Edwards is going to be close to the first down. Gets out to the 35-yard line. We may have to measure this one out. And Andre, let's start talking about your Heisman vote and who it's going to go to. Yeah, sure it is.
About that time of year. Right now, I really like Reggie Bush. I mean, there's really not a reason to dislike anything he does on the field. Matt Leinart, last year's winner, is certainly there. Vincent Young is, playing outstanding football. May mean more to his team than anybody in the country. Brady Quinn arrived and is playing some fantastic football for Notre Dame.
They say that Edwards got enough for a first down, so the clock continues to move. Staying on the field offensively, North Carolina, but going backwards as Ronnie McGill loses 3 yards.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. You watch Ronnie McGill run the football there. Early in the football game, they're delivering the punch. There, when you watch him run the football, they're taking it. Miami's bringing the punch to them. He can't get started. He's running downhill early in this football game and looking up to contact. Right now, they're bringing the contact to Ronnie McGill.
2nd down and 12. Bozich remains in the game under center. Redshirt freshman drops back, 3 steps, slings it out left side, incomplete. Looking for Mike Mason.
And they have a late hit on the quarterback. Late Orion Harris, defensive lineman.
Roughing the passer on the defense. Number 92, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first
Randy
down.
Shannon, he doesn't mess around. You see, Orion Harris is a senior. Trotting off to the sideline. When you make a mistake, you got to come sit down for a little while. Right there, just a little late. I'm going to dump you. Look, good acting job by the freshman, Joey Bozich, as well. But he acted it well enough to pick up the first down and move the chain.
Put yourself in Bozich's helmet right now. How difficult is it coming in this atmosphere, this time of the game,
cold,
this score, cold?
Tough. And against the #1 ranked defense in the country, even tougher. As fast as they play and with as much speed, you're just trying to slow the game down as much as you possibly can. You hear that phrase a lot. All of a sudden, in the next week or the next year, a quarterback tells you, well, the game slowed down for me. I can see things happening. Right now, it's just flying in the eyes of Joey Bozich. It only comes with game time experience. And, hey, you got to get your feet wet at some point.
Ball's placed at the 50-yard line as Matt Baker is being attended to. Looks to be his right ankle. And another tape job. Not sure he'd want to come back into this game. It's deep against Miami.
That's right. It's tough enough with 2 legs.
Nice toss. Bozich throws it down, incomplete. Looking for Darrell Mitchell. Speedster on the outside from Winston-Salem. Pass was there, but Mitchell had it and then dropped it. Kelly Jennings and Kenny Phillips were there in the double team defensively.
Well, I tell you, he throws a good football on the outside. He's got 2 deep coverage, which the weakness is out here. And you see him look the safety inside. He's going to drop one over. Sometimes you got to drill that shot so you don't allow the safety over the top to make a play. But he throws it on the outside shoulder. There, thought the receiver had an opportunity to make a play for his quarterback.
Tar Heels would love to stay on the field. 3rd down and 8. Bozich needs to make a play. Wants a bundle. Throws it deep. Intercepted. Randy Phillips, the freshman, with the football. And Phillips down to the 30-yard line after a fantastic return. $55 yards on the return for Randy Phillips, and Bozich throws his first collegiate interception.
ESPN2's college football, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And Corona Extra, miles away from ordinary.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl here in Miami, Florida. Hurricanes have given these fans something to cheer about here in the second half. They have been electric. 34-16 is our score. Canes were down by 9 after 30 minutes. They have changed that trend in a big way, and we come up on the 5-minute mark here in this 4th quarter. Let's go back to the studio and Matt Weiner.
All right, NC State has taken the lead at home against Southern Miss. They've been chipping away all day long against the Eagles. Marcus Stone finds Brian Clark in the corner of the end zone. The Pack have taken a 21-17 lead.
Thank you, Matt. Well, there was a fumble on the play, and North Carolina has recovered. So how about that? Something positive for the Tar Heels. Maybe they can build on that.
Well, right here, you see him just fighting for extra yardage, and then you get inside like that, you got to put 2 hands on the football. Charlie Jones, a young sophomore running back, gets it punched out. Number 8, Tommy Richardson. All of a sudden,
Charlie Jones.
Yeah, they're going to have an opportunity here.
With the fumble. You got to take the good with the bad.
That's right.
Earlier this game, they weren't blowing the whistle when Tyrone Moss was running it. Looked like he was stood up. On that play, looked like Charlie Jones was stood up. They didn't blow the whistle, just like they did earlier in the game. And because he was stood up and given extra time, they were able to force the fumble. And Bozich back on the field looking for more help from his teammates maybe in this drive.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's nothing that upsets me more as a quarterback when you get an effort like this. You're trying to get a football to a receiver, and he looks it off like that. No, doesn't even try to make a play, and then just really gives up and succumbs to the block. That would be the last football that I throw to him in this football game, because 2 times I've watched it go over his head without trying to make an effort. We'd have a few words on the sideline.
2nd down and 7. Bozich swings it out, has a man complete. That's Holly. Gets out to the 31-yard line. What would you say to a receiver? Would it be constructive?
I can't say that on the air. I mean, me and my best friend, for instance, in a bowl game out in Hawaii, and he drops a touchdown pass. I've been struggling all game long, and he dropped one that I laid right in there, and we went at it on the sideline. I mean, and it's just out of, no, it's not personal, but, you know, you got to give me a better effort than that. I'm back here fighting my tail off, getting knocked out all day long, and you lay one on the ground, or you give me an effort like Mike Mason just gave me. Come on, man, I'm fighting for you. Give me a little fight.
Let's see if they fight for Joey Bozich here on 3rd down and 3. Pass is knocked down, almost intercepted. Heck of a play almost made by Baraka Atkins. He got 2 hands on that football and almost had himself a pick.
You can't compliment this Miami defense enough and the effort that they're putting forward. I mean, you're talking about 2 entirely different teams. They really kind of feeling North Carolina out and was really taking it on the chin in the first half, just getting the football run right up the gut and right into the teeth of the defense. And they decided at halftime, we're going to do something about this, make some adjustments, and they have.
Wooldridge punts it away to Devin Hester. This time Hester will have a chance to return. Maybe not. He is dropped for a loss of yards. Had it, and then it's tripped up by Mike Mason. So Mason giving some effort on special teams. North Carolina was ahead by 9 at the halftime mark, but how about that? 27 unanswered points here in the second half for the Miami Hurricanes, and the adjustments, they were made by Miami and not made for North Carolina.
I'll tell you what, on both sides of the football, defensively, Randy Shannon decided to get aggressive and come after this North Carolina offense. And then on the offensive side, they turned it over to Tyrone Moss, their best weapon today on offense. And, boy, I tell you what, he really responded well in terms of turning this game in the favor of the Miami Hurricanes.
In terms of Miami, we were wondering what was wrong with Miami in the first 30 minutes. What was the problem in the first 30 minutes?
Maybe they just weren't challenged enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what the motivation was or shortage of coming into this football game, but this was a team that beat them last year on a last-second field goal, and then all of a sudden, Miami went in at halftime, made the necessary adjustments, and they looked totally different here in the second half.
Trying to run out some clock. Kirby Freeman has come into the game. Backup quarterback replaces Kyle Wright, whose afternoon is done. Freeman flips it out right side, incomplete, looking for Khalil Jones.
Yeah, Kirby Freeman was the guy who went down to out to California, competed in that Elite 11. There's actually 12 quarterbacks around the country that go out there and they get tutored up and all that. Kyle Wright was another. So both of them recruited the same year. Kirby actually redshirted, Kyle didn't, and they fought for the job, and on the last scrimmage, Kyle Wright became the starter, but Kirby, he's played in every game this year except the Florida State game. Good quarterback, both running and throwing the football.
Kid out of Brownwood, Texas. They hand it off, and Duron Thomas picks up 6 yards. Next week will be a very important game for Kyle Wright and the Miami Hurricanes. They will take on the Virginia Tech Hokies in a game up in Blacksburg.
Yeah, tough place to play. It only seats, what, about 65,000 when you go in there.
Wow.
We were there a couple of weeks ago. It sounds like there's about 120,000 in there, and I'll tell you, that won't be an easy task for that young man, Kyle Wright, and this Miami Hurricane football team, but that will be a fantastic football game.
Virginia Tech is one of the few programs in the country that you can honestly say they have the talent and the athletes to match up
with anybody, not just Miami. I'm talking anybody. Texas, USC. Boy.
Most of those kids from Virginia, too. They keep their own in town, and they all do fantastic things for Frank Beamer. Sure, 52-yard punt down inside the 10. Just a reminder, Sunday Night Football tomorrow evening, 8:30 Eastern Time. Willis McGahee, former Miami Hurricane. He will lead his Bills into Foxborough. Teddy Bruschi making his comeback game after the stroke he suffered last offseason. He will play his very first game for the New England Patriots here in 2005.
You were talking about Frank Beamer keeping his kids at home in Texas. They would say, well, he's keeping his'n and he's going to get urine.
What they say about Bear Bryant, he can take his and beat yours. He can take yours and beat his. Doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
1:27 remaining in this game. North Carolina trying to let this clock wind down and get out of Dodge. The second half has been all sorts of problems. Scooter Arnold picks up just a couple of yards. They went into the locker room with a swagger, with some confidence, but they came out of that locker room just dazed after a couple of haymakers were landed by Miami.
I think they forgot that this is a 60-minute game and not a 30-minute game, and just came out and inflicted their will on this North Carolina football team. Was Miami defensively. That's where it turned first. And then offensively, they finally got it. Give the football to Tyrone Moss. And boy, did he have one heck of a second half.
Man called Cooter. Another carry. Picks up 5 yards before he's dropped by Leon Williams. We're underneath a minute to play.
He was a Butkus Award finalist last year, Leon Williams. Played in 10 games and started 5 in an injury-marred season, and then he finds himself playing behind Romeo Davis.
That's what they're thinking about on the sidelines. They have had a lot to deal with throughout this entire Southeast here in the United States. The college football season has been interrupted because of Katrina, because of Rita, and now Wilma. Obviously, other people living just day to day having to deal with Katrina, Rita, and Wilma. It's very difficult when you're out of electricity, when you're out of food, when you're out of your home.
I think that message was that the defense was playing as a Category 5. And when you have 5 and then a 5 in the middle of the U, they certainly played a tremendous football game.
The Miami Hurricanes and everyone down here in South Florida had a very difficult week. The threat of Hurricane Wilma came. Hurricane Wilma came. And the Hurricanes survived and persevered and won today. So Larry Coker's team, they've now won 7 consecutive games. Our final score, Miami 34, North Carolina 16. Now let's go back to the studio where Matt Weiner is standing by.